Ah, feels weird getting used to it. I feel like we haven't been here in like what 14 days? Oh gosh. Ah gosh, it feels probably 16 days, I think. I don't even know. It feels a little longer. But nonetheless, we are back in the building, episode 45 of No Cooldown Podcast. We back after a nice little break, after a hellacious election season, after a hellacious bout with the lands between and Elden Ring. We're here, baby. We are back for another episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in, listening. I am ThatManTripp. I am glad to be with you all, and of course, I am ecstatic to be back with my podcast partner in crime, WenEazy, in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Rested and a little bit older.
Yeah, just a little bit older, man. You know what I'm saying? Their birthday this week, came back off a little break this week, was traveling internationally, you know what I'm saying? Came back some Ragnarok. He been all over the place. He would do this damn thing.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was a lot. Your boy is tired, but there is no rest for the wicked.
Mm-hmm. He's not wrong. He's not wrong on that, man. And you know what I'm saying? One thing we can't let rest is that damn star rating. So make sure you rate this 5 stars on all audio platforms. That means Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If there's any star rating on that you see, go check it. Go rate us 5 stars. Go share us around. Make sure you just type in No Cooldown. You'll see us right there in the gaming section on podcasts. We're also available on Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, and of course Anchor. And of course, you can check all the video versions for full. Also now starting on Spotify, you can start checking the video versions out on that because we'll be uploading those in that way soon. And of course on YouTube at Wotaku channel. That's WOTAKU channel. That's WOTAKU channel. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of news this week. I ain't gonna lie, it's been a little bit. We got the, you know what I'm saying, it kind of accumulated, it piled up, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So we got some stories in the warm up, a lot of main stories, some extra little trailer troll stuff, but we got a lot to get into. So without further ado, WenEazy, are you ready, though?
Born ready.
Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. We back. All right. First up, the story of the week in the warm-up section. Apparently, in honor of Sword Art Online, the Oculus creator Palmer Luckey claims to have made a VR rig that will kill you for real if you perish in the game you're playing. So, I mean, I don't know if this... Apparently, he said there was homage to SAO, but... Dog, is he for real? What's your thoughts on this?
I don't see the purpose in it. Definitely one of those things where it's like, I understand you wanted to make it to see if you could, but I'm pretty sure we could have made it. I don't think that was necessarily something that we needed to research.
Like, and now all he did was create the scenario of like, yo, what games you really gonna play on that thing to make sure you either don't risk death, or if somebody actually spawns in or clicks on the game, they're stuck in there and they actually have to complete it. Because if you put me in some wild shit like Fall Guys, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do in Fall Guys, bruh? A giant ass fruit comes my way and you blow my head off. That's not fair. I can't play any games.
Yeah, I'm definitely playing like Animal Crossing if I have to. But the thing that sucks too is that like those games are so long. Like you'd be in there forever because they don't really end. So
literally, bro. So you're asked out either way, bro. I see everybody online was like, bro, what if you just like you black out and you wake up in Caelid and stuff? You wake up in Limgrave and shit. You're just like, oh well, I'm just gonna kill myself. It's over. It's done with. I can't do nothing. Very, very out of pocket creation, I guess, Palmer. But you know what? For the lows, you created some good memes on Twitter for the interim. So I guess cool, but okay, bro. I don't know what prompted you to do it for real. SAO, we figured they could do it. But damn, bruh. Anyways, moving on to the next story, the warm up here. I thought this was actually pretty interesting when I saw it, but this is kind of like an old story from the 2000s that kind of came back around. So they were basically thinking of making a Grand Theft Auto movie way back when in the early 2000s. But here's the kicker. They wanted Eminem to be the lead role in the early 2000s. So apparently there's a story circulating of a friend of the OG Grand Theft Auto creators basically got approached by some dude in Hollywood that basically like, we want the film rights. We want to be able to make that movie. He offered $3 million off top, you know what I'm saying, to get Marshall Mathers in the, in the lead role, and then a Top Gun director and Tony Scott to basically put it all together. So they kind of pitched it there. They declined, of course, because there was no GTA movie that ever came from it. But it was interesting to see that development even like happen, like a GTA movie with Eminem in the lead role. How do you feel about that, bro?
I don't know. Like I don't think I would have liked that at all, actually. And it's really just like Eminem. I understand he did a great job in 8 Mile, but like he just has to be literally himself. Like,
yeah,
you want Eminem to be anybody other than Eminem? It's gonna be tough. Like, unless the GTA movie is like, oh, Eminem got transported into GTA. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Like, I cannot see him in that context. Now, I can kind of see the line of logic of where they're going, because okay, GTA is provocative, edgy, whatever product, especially back then with like GTA 3 and stuff like that around early 2000s. It was just before San Andreas. So it was that. So you want to like up the edginess with Eminem in that role. Now, GTA on its own in that time period is already getting canceled, not being banned in Australia. If you put Eminem on this, I don't think we would have seen another GTA. We might not have seen another GTA if this movie came out, bro, because the U.S. government, the whole judicial system would have been on their ass. You know what I'm saying? How many lobbyists would have been on their ass? Australia as an entirety, country, society would have been on their ass. Like, I don't know if they would have made it. Eminem probably would have been fine, but GTA might not have made it. They might not have made it through. So listen, I'm glad that they dodged the bullet. I don't want to see this man asking his cousin to go bowling and stuff like that. I don't want to see that. Listen, look what I'm planning again. Look what I'm planning. Jump out of car and stuff and just flail. Like, come on. I would not want to see that from any era of Eminem at all, bro. That's wild. I don't even want to see a GTA movie in general. Like, how would you even pull that off? That's a very specific, and I feel like it's too ingrained with what we've seen now to come off on screen.
I think anybody who's like, we need a GTA movie, really just needs to go watch like literally any action movie. Like that's GTA 100%. Movies right there.
Facts. Like go play through submissions again one more time. You know what I'm saying? And just go put another movie like 1-to-1 on that, bro. Like exactly. I don't get it.
The GTA movies the GTA games are based off of movies too. Like a lot of them are literally based off of movies. So it's like when you get Vice City and it's based off of Scarface, why don't you just go watch Scarface if you want a GTA? Like it's literally based off of it. So it's interesting to see a lot of people like the disconnect that people like see with the medium.
Yeah, 100%. But it's wild, bro. This man would have dropped the soundtrack would have been egregious. Would have been the most vile things ever said on any album, let alone a movie album. Hold that, y'all. Hold that. All right, on to the last story of the warm up. So this has got to be the wildest thing I've seen. This has got to be the wildest thing I've seen all week. So we get a new game coming through called I Am Jesus Christ, where you can basically step into the role of the carpenter himself and perform some acts and miracles as he did. Now, it's coming out in Q2 2023, but a demo is apparently coming out in December on Steam, just in time for the holiday season. You can heal blind people, you know what I'm saying? Go through what do you think? I can't even get through. What do you think about it? What I saw? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, man.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I know it's crazy, and I know it probably shouldn't exist. But let's hear him. Like, I'm just saying. Like,
listen.
I ain't never really like. I read the Bible as a kid, like just because I like stories. But like this, I would have definitely really, been more tapped in if I could do side quests as Jehovah. Like I'm just saying, like, yo, imagine the QTE of carrying the cross. That shit would kind of go hard. Like, damn, I fell over. Like that shit, you feel it, bro. Like I don't know, bro.
You multiplying the fish and bread like it's a Sims mini game. You pressing the buttons like you in the herbs.
Like they're just like, yo, Jesus, we need some food, and like you gotta walk through the crowd and like talk to people. They're like, sorry, Jesus, no food. And
oh my gosh, that's good.
Like that, you walk on water, like that's crazy. Like you unlock that power at a certain point, so then when you go back to the other areas, you walk across lakes and shit to find collectibles. I don't know what the collectibles would be.
I don't know, man. Just carpenter tools or something like that. I don't know. The apostles, you gotta find them all in the environment, like the Dalmatians in Kingdom Hearts. I don't know, bro. I don't.
The tutorial would be like Adam and Eve, bro. It just writes itself. I'm just saying, like you're just Adam, and because you're a human, you're learning how to walk and all that shit. I'm just saying,
it's different POVs. New area discovered. Nazareth. Like what? Like they go, what? You got to do a synchronization from the top of the motel and stuff.
Like I'm just saying, bro. I'm not saying. Hey, I'm not saying it should exist. But if we're gonna do it,
my gosh.
do it right. I want no parts in this.
I want absolutely no affiliation with this, bro. My only gripe is that if we trying to make this accurate, why is Jesus not black? But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But let's, you know what I'm saying? That is what it is. That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? 2023 Game of the Year, Starfield, watch your back. Starfield, watch your back, buddy. That's all I'm saying. Jesus Christ, come.
I'm just saying, if you don't vote for the Jesus game, you're going to hell. I don't
that's
make the
crazy.
Rules.
And there's no Doom Eternal that's coming out this year or next. So what's going on? You got no options. You got no options.
You got no options.
All right. Moving on to the base story.
Before we damn our souls.
Yeah, no, for real. So let me do anime real quick, boy. Let me go to the main stories, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's start off hot. We got to start off hot, man. As you all know, in the interim gap between the last podcast and this episode, God of War Ragnarok has dropped. God of War Ragnarok, as I like to dub it very often. It's released to the masses. It's out now. And I know that I've tried the game and I've started a few hours in. I know that Wen has had several hours in because he did a long ass stream this week. So, I mean, we got to talk about it, man. Wen, how are you feeling about Ragnarok so far?
This shit right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this shit right here. Amazing, actually. Like I had 3 games planned for this stream, and I'm happy that all of them fell through. I played the game for like 8 hours. I honestly could have kept going. It is insanely good. I don't want to say, you know, like I don't want to jinx it, but I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gonna be. I don't know how Jeff is figuring it out back there, crunching the numbers. But I'm gonna need to see. I'm gonna need to see the score sheet if something don't come out. Like if God of War don't win, I'm gonna need to see the score sheet. I'm gonna need to see the breakdown. I'm just saying, bro. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy.
I just want to speak on a macro conversation for a second. To all the people out there who said Elden Ring was going to sweep it from March. And you know what I'm saying? They was like, I don't care what come out. God of War could come out this year. This, that, could third come out this year. Starfield, Elden Ring sweeping it. Now, I will also speak on Elden Ring at another time. We can speak at close to the end of this category, to the end of another category coming soon. But, to those of y'all that were very conclusive about Elden Ring sweeping everything this year, and you know, there was no doubt in nobody's mind, apparently, y'all must have forgot Kratos was coming out the back with the boy. You know what I'm saying? They was making shit crank. They was making it crank, bro. I don't think you guys understand how fire the first 2 hours just snapped you back in like, yo, this is real right now. They shook you up by your shoulders. They said, this is real. Like right now. Not even 6 minutes into the intro, they told you it's real. It's real. As soon as you got on that damn the sleigh, it's real. Like, come on, man. Fantastic. Those of y'all who said this was not gonna be, not gonna have any chance for Ragnarok to compete this year, y'all are smoking fairy dust. Smoking fairy dust. Simple and plain. This game has started out fantastically. It picks up right where you left off, and it feels smoother. The gameplay feels smoother than 2018, much smoother in my opinion. The verticality in the environments, especially when you're fighting, provide you a lot more challenges. I am playing it on the one above story mode with the one below hardest. So I'm getting a little bit of a challenge from it, and I'm getting clapped if I'm not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And I like the differences in the enemy types, how you're gonna have to use a lot of your different weapons, like really apply yourself as much as you can. You know, like most of the first game was only the Leviathan axe, and then you could use both, but there wasn't really. I think you could have approached it all with one weapon in certain ways. But I feel like with this game, it's kind of encouraging you. You have to use as much of both as possible. With your shield, with new power up with the shield, new stuff with the thing to charge and everything like that. It's forced you to make these decisions to spice it up, bro. You gotta spice it up to get everybody out the way, or you're gonna get packed up. It's as simple as that. And it feels. We took God of War, which is already a 10 out of 10 in my opinion from 2018, and you're starting to crank it up with everything. You're just adding on top of it. So far, they're doing everything that I expected. And you know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see more. Hand in the reins before I go crazy, bro. Hand in the reins. Go ahead.
Nah, that like the intro was sick. I played about 8 hours. Right, I played about 8 hours. The intro was a great start. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. We're picking up where we left off. I didn't know how fast the game was gonna pick up. Like, I want to say about what, maybe not even like a full hour in, we meet the main antagonist, and it's definitely the best depiction of Thor we've ever seen in anything.
Absolutely.
Period.
I'm sorry. I'm in full agreement right here. I will raise my hand up. This version of Thor is stone cold killer. Stone cold. Yeah. And we haven't even seen half of it, in my opinion. But like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I want to say it's an amazing depiction of like I want to say that they put a lot of thought into the way these gods are depicted.
Oh yeah, 100%. Everybody, all the Aesir, have just been, to me, been depicted in such a really cool way. You can start to see more of the dynamics. The more gods you meet in this pantheon, the more the dynamics between all of them you can see, and it's deep. It's deep.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. A menacing character, wonderful voice acting. The voice acting is fucking superb.
Bro, like, you heard this? Are you a calm and reasonable person? I like the way this nigga was saying that while he was rubbing the damn meat on me on there, bro. I don't mean to spoil like crazy, but you'll see the scene when you see it's the first like hour or something by the game. But like, you know what I'm saying? He was just like, are you a calm and reasonable person? I was sitting there like, nigga, this is I was nervous. I was actively nervous for the situation when I was in the scene. I'm not even there, bro. Like, come on, son. Fantastic. Fantastic.
It's crazy, man. Like the whole time I was playing it, like every moment I kind of wanted to keep going. Like I just couldn't stop playing it. Like it was insanely good. It was insanely good. The story is just top notch. It's every time there's a cutscene, I'm excited because it's new. Like the way they deliver the story is engaging. Like nothing. I feel like there's just no time wasted in this game. And that's really 100%. What I love about it. It is very much an experience. It is you start here and you're gonna go forward and it's gonna be fucking gas all the way through. Good side missions, really fun to play. I'm only like 8 hours in, but I honestly can't stop playing it. I played it on 4K too. Like I put it on 4K on my monitor.
Flex the monitor. Flex it.
It's stunning, bro. It is stunning. The game is insanely good looking. It's so good to look at. It is beautiful. And that's on a PS5. I can only imagine when they drop it on PC. Like it's insane.
I need to get a 4090 before then. I need to get a 4090 before that point. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, like dog, the first stretch. I think I played about like 6 or 7 hours. I'm close to you. I think relatively. I had to stop watching you at some point because I think you got to where I was, and I was like, all right, I'm going. Let me dip out because I don't want to spoil myself. But that 6 or 7 hours was so compact. I know I could have stretched it to like an extra 30, 40 like hour potentially just by exploring everything to the fullest extent. Because there was one chest I missed in a certain area I had to go back for. Like I know I got to go back for it at some point. And I'll probably do it off stream, but like they provide you the bounds of where everything was set previously. They do the reset up and everything so well, and then they don't spare a moment. They don't spare a moment to waste. They give you right into it. Hey, listen, there's this side quest, but it does mean something to a certain person. You know what I'm saying? Here's this main story. We progress it this way. There's these things around the map. You can see them. They might need to be unlocked with something later, but you can come back to it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different things that set you up with, bro. It's an on-ramp to like 1,000 miles per hour, and I'm loving every second of it, bro. The ability to just come back in and being a game that's a sequel. The hardest burden to bear is to build on what you established in the first game while also taking it to another level. And they have to do this narratively. They have to do this gameplay wise. They have to do this from every aspect. You have to add something on top that's significant. And I think they started off very well, in my opinion. I have to finish the game, you know what I'm saying, to get my full conclusive thoughts. But damn it, that's how you start a sequel. That's how you start a sequel.
It's an amazing game.
Talk about no contest this year for Game of the Year. Suck skin. Suck skin if you thought that. It's a dog fight.
It's a very tough contest.
It's a dog fight, man. That's not even man, we'll talk about that later in the category. But yeah, that's all I got on this topic though. Fantastic so far. Mwah. I love it. I love it. Also, this is a random side note though. I found out on Twitter that the same guy who voices Mimir is the same person who voices Nihilus from Mass Effect 1. And I was like,
makes sense. That actually makes sense.
It makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. Like, bro, such a good voice actor. Such a good voice actor. So good. But yeah, also performances, everybody's doing fantastically well. Anything else that I gotta say? Oh man, listen, shout out to the dogs them. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to the dogs them. That's all I gotta put out there, man. Shout out to the dogs them. But yeah, that's all I got, man. So far, chef's kiss. All right, shoot, we gonna move on to the next one. So in our next story here, Volition, the team behind the rebooted Saints Row game, are actually being transferred within the Embracer Group, as they will go from basically getting resources and serving under PlayOn, formerly known as Kxngviii, to developing games under Gearbox Software. So after a noted disappointing and slightly polarizing reception for Saints Row, Volition are said to basically be benefit from this operative group change to give them all the resources they need to succeed in future projects with more of a U.S. North American based team under the helm. So any questions on this? Well, any thoughts on this? Just Volition kind of switching over to Gearbox, getting resources and getting basically some direction from the Gearbox standpoint.
I don't know how I feel about this just because of how many things have been acquired recently. And I just feel like a lot of studios are like, who are trying to do their own thing, are kind of like, okay, we made something, let's leave out of here. And it's like, I didn't see any of the Saints Row things being that bad. I saw it kind of like a mediocre first game. If it wasn't a Saints Row game, it wouldn't even have made the news. I feel like it would have just been a Steam game that people just weren't picking up or wanting to play, right? And that's what kind of sucks, is that because it had the Saints Row like moniker, it was dubbed like a horrible or a bad game. When in reality, if that would have been called anything else, like Mexico City Gangs or whatever the fuck, right? I think it would have just been like, oh, it's just a game I'm not gonna buy. Like whatever, I'm gonna just chalk it up to whatever and just keep moving. And it kind of sucks that they're losing. It feels like they're losing the whole company over just the one failure, but it's also like Saints Row wasn't never really in a good place since Saints Row 3, to be honest. Or so it's like, it's one of those like, maybe it was about time, but it's also just kind of sad to see because I like some of the Gearbox games, but it's not like their track record is that much better when it comes to franchises that they've treated well. Like, I know that the Aliens Fireteam game was good, but what about outside of they had two good ones, but it took them what was the first one? The first Alien games that came after Borderlands 2, that wasn't a good game.
Were they Colonial Marines? Was that Colonial Marines?
They were I think it was Colonial Marines.
Gosh, that was a shit show. That was a shit show. That 2011 was a shit show.
I'm not saying they can't make good games, but we buying up companies, man. I just hope that we got the proper resources to help them grow and innovate and be successful, not just like, I'm gonna buy y'all because I can buy y'all.
Yeah, nah, I agree 100%. It's gonna be weird seeing again all this movement, especially from the Embracer Group. They've been moving like lightning, trying to get everything reshuffled and moved around. And to kind of add on to this story, we heard another report, basically in the past couple of days, that the IP for the Risk of Rain franchise has been fully picked up by Gearbox Software in accordance with the Embracer Group, with the OG dev team Hapu Games. They're not going to be doing any more work on the series, so basically the entire franchise that's been published by Gearbox is taken basically under its wing full time, so they'll be developing stuff for the future in that line of games. After a heartfelt note to the fans, Hapu Games basically they now bowed out of development cycle. They basically been working on other things. It's been met with some different I guess reception and correspondence, but kind of overall it is what it is. So I mean, thoughts on Risk of Rain going to Gearbox as well?
I'm not a big fan of this because I feel like the team that made Risk of Rain. Like, they made this game as good as it is. To just sell the IP and not to bring the people on board to the next project or whatever that they're gonna do with it. I don't know, man. If Risk of Rain 3 is a first person shooter, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed. That's the way I feel about it. It's like, I'm happy that they made something so big that it caught the attention of the people with the money, but it's kind of sad to see it be like, hey, I'm just selling off the rights to this. Like, they can do whatever they want with it. And at the end of the day, like, it does suck, but I at least know that there is Risk of Rain 2 is a game that I can still play,
Yeah, no, 100%. It's It's a weird spot. It's a weird spot. I haven't played too much Risk of Rain, Risk of Rain 2, but I know it's a fun game from the minuscule time I've had with it. So, I'm hoping that formula doesn't get meddled with too much, but Gearbox can do what they want with it now. So hopefully they treat it with care. That's all I say. Hopefully they treat it with care. That's all I can say on that. All right, moving on to the next story here. It's been a while since I said this. I ain't gonna lie to you, but Dead Island 2 got delayed again. So basically, after its whole triumphant return announcement a few months ago, Deep Silver and Dan Buster basically came out with a statement that said the game's going to be pushed back by 3 months to ensure more time to perfect it as it enters its final stages of development and polishing. They've been planning to hold us over with a new trailer and some new footage on December 6th, just a couple days before the Game Awards. What's going on with this? Is it a bad sign? Yeah, do they need it? What's going
on? With me, I am a firm believer in the if you ain't got shit to ship, don't show shit. And like that's kind of like where I am with this. This game was kind of announced dead or pronounced dead years ago, right? We know that game wasn't coming out. And then they announced that it's coming out. So like why would you like it's like announcing you're flanking the enemy when you're still at the top of the hill. Like get closer, right? Get closer. At least be a threat before you say, "Yo, we're here." Because
he said we're gonna flank you in like a couple of months. Hold on, just give us a second. We're gonna reframe. Come back.
Unless something catastrophic happened, God forbid, and it was just something that it was out of their control. Like we just couldn't do anything about it. Then yeah, like I understand. Like yo, you know what? We need more time, and obviously take as much time as you want. But when you're a game that was never announced that you were dead, that you weren't coming out, and all we heard was, I am back, like I'm still around, we are assuming you've been working on the game for that long. Like it would be safe to assume that. So to hear that you're getting delayed when you essentially have been delayed for upwards of 2 years, I can't even remember when it was announced. I know we looked it up. If you listen to this podcast, you know exactly how long it's been, but it's been a long ass time.
Yeah. At least like 8 years, I think. What, 2014, 2013?
Yeah. There's no reason you guys should be delayed anymore. Like there's just no reason.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird. I wish nothing but the best. You already know what we say on this podcast. If you're gonna delay it, make sure you do it and polish the best you can. We want the best games to come out in the best shape possible. So there's no slight to them, but it's like, damn, like you kind of just announce your return just to announce that you guys aren't returning on the date you said you were returning. So I was like, it's a little bit weird. It's not sure what to expect. I fear a little bit that the optimization, the technical quality of games like this they're going to be something that hold it back from at least getting a fair shake, in my opinion, because it's serious. It's serious with those games, man. What came out this year? Was it Dying Light 2? Didn't that come out with a bunch of technical stuff that was really messing with people's perception of the game, and they didn't really get a fair shake of it? I think it's in a similar vein too. It's a lot for them to fix. So I hope they do take their time on this for one. But it's like, damn, you playing with my emotions. I want to play Dead Island 2. I want to drop kick people. I want to drop kick zombies again. You know what I'm saying? I want to be on that same type vibe. I want to be, in there with multiplayer. And if you're if you're adjusting for more than 4 people in a co-op session, take as much time you need. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But if you're only releasing 4 players, I'm like, all right, bro. If you polish it, cool. But damn, you didn't really have to say anything if that's the case. But yeah, unless it's like 6-player co-op, you shouldn't have said anything till at least now in December and said, hey, we're dropping in April, and that would have been still a more than enough time for you to market, do your whole entire advertising run, and still have enough buzz for the game. So it kind of is what it is on that front. Just disappointing to see another delay again from Dead Island 2.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll keep in touch. Not keep in touch like if they call them, but like
I'll have my people call your people Deep Silver. I'll have my people call
exactly. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, of course. All right, moving on to almost every other week or every other podcast we have this damn news, but Fortnite always gets bigger. Somehow they always do it. And they just went ahead and they just put the entirety of Rocket League in the game, bro. Rocket League is now in Fortnite. They have officially partnered. And right now, if you jump into the island, drop off the bus, you can go into these entire, like the Rocket League cars. You can jump around, do flips, go on structures, do whatever you want in, different custom game modes or actually in the Battle Royale mode itself. It's insanity, bro. They just threw the whole game in there. What do you think about this, man?
Sure. Like, they don't care, man. That game is insane. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to Rocket League. I love that Epic is combining their franchises in ways like this because it's actually really fun to migrate a community into another game. Like, if you're a Rocket League fan and you're not really that big of a Fortnite fan, this might be the little step you take to playing that game. Or if you're a Fortnite fan and you're like, whoa, these Rocket League cars are really fun. Maybe I should try out Rocket League. It's really interesting to see. We love the collaboration between franchises, and there's a lot of gaming companies that could use this kind of like as a model. Like, I'm sure that this costs them very little to any money at all to implement this, because it's not like
they got the same damn assets and the same damn engine. They probably just move it over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you're talking to a team that's inside your same company. Like, it's not like you have to like go outside of your way. Like, you know that if I talk to Phil, who's the head of the Rocket League or that division or whatever, he can put me in contact with somebody by the end of the day, as opposed to like, let me reach out to Epic, let me reach out to Activision, see if they email me so I can get in contact with that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works out so much simpler. And like companies like Microsoft that are acquiring all these companies, or even like PlayStation that has all these acquisitions, like, you guys have the same power to do cool shit like this and expose people to other franchises that you own. And it's sad because that's something that we used to see back in the day. Like, I remember there was a Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter crossover game. It was on like the PlayStation Move or whatever, but like that was a game that happened.
Like that. Facts. Like, it's a rarity, man. It's a rarity, but it's crazy how, again, often we see Fortnite innovate from a collaboration perspective. They have a strong case for being one of the best collaborators in gaming history. They probably are by a good mile or a good margin at this point already. They're just extending their lead. But when it comes to them and collaborating with somebody outside of the Fortnite franchise, they're top one. They're top notch. They know how to. You could make a case in terms of media in general. They're probably one of the best collaborators in a general media sense. You know what I'm saying? Going today. I mean, you're a part of the biggest medium in the world, and you're doing this consistently, whether it be gaming franchises, movie franchises, different IPs, singers, concerts being held. Fortnite just continues to push the envelope and just show, we do dope shit every week, bro. This is just us. This is our bag. This is our area. This is our space. We just do it, So it's cool to see, bro. Honestly, and the funniest thing to me was like they're actually lethal. They're actually mad lethal. I seen the video I linked in the show notes. So basically, it was like it was Nick A30, and this man was just basically doing flips and knocking people down. He's getting knockdowns off the flips on the car. Somebody was like on like a blimp or something like that, or a hot air balloon, and he jumped up to the hot air balloon and knocked them off, got downs. I was like, this is just the most insane thing ever. Who would have thought? Fortnite's fantastic. Fortnite is a fantastic game, and I years ago would have never said that. So hats off to Fortnite. You guys literally are consistently the top of the world. We'll check the Game Awards categories in our spot later. But if they're on ongoing game, they might need to get that nod. They might need to get that nod. We gotta see that category. I ain't gonna front.
Absolutely.
All right, moving down to some quick news, a late edition actually. Not but an hour ago, we got the first little teaser for Marvin the Martian pulling up into the Multiverses roster. Now, our thoughts on this one? They just, threw ranked back up there to test it a little bit. Ranks coming back through. Multiverse getting a little buzz again. The mainstream side. How you feel about Marvin the Martian?
I think this is super hype. I'm actually excited for this because I feel like this is something that we were expecting more Looney Tunes characters. I personally can't wait for Elmer Fudd, but I'm happy for the Marvin Martian. Yeah. Marvin the Martian. I can't speak today. I'm really excited to see what his kit will bring. I'm assuming it's gonna be like a mage, kind of like a Rick kind of deal. But I think that the way that they've made these characters, they're so fun. I remember Black Adam came out not too long ago, and I was having a blast with Black Adam. So I honestly can't wait to see what they have in store for us. That team is working insanely hard, and they're keeping up with the content. And like the rank mode is coming out soon, so I might have to make my way back to Multiverses if my heart can take it.
Hey, listen, I probably got to tap into. I ain't gonna lie, and I could definitely see him being like a mage build. Like they just add water, all of his Acme shit, all of his like like his Martian tech just add water. It's a whole new like like just throwable or something like that. That could be a cool thing. But Marvin the Martian, again, goated, probably part of one of my favorite cartoons from that era. Shout out to Duck Dodgers in that joint. Yeah, where's Daffy? Where's Daffy and Duck Dodgers? I need a Daffy Duck Dodgers joint immediately. If we do Marvin the Martian, we need Daffy. We need Duck Dodgers. Hold on, we need to actually fix that up. Player first, if you listening, you need to fix that up. Hold on, we need to get Duck Dodgers in there ASAP. I need that with the Tom Jones theme song and all that, bro. I need everything. I need the whole set.
I forgot that he did the theme song. That was a crazy theme song.
That was a banger. A banger.
That was a banger.
It was a banger. It was a banger. I was singing that. I didn't even know it was Tom Jones like that. I was freaking like 8, 9, 10, singing belting my lungs out, son. Classic.
That was an amazing show.
Absolute super underrated show. Super underrated show, 100%. But yeah, that would be dope. But Marvin the Martian sounds really interesting, and I can't wait to see what Multiverse does. Again, they haven't done too much wrong so far, if any. So listen, carry on. All right, moving down. We got another story here. Hogwarts Legacy. They conjured up some gameplay and some new looks at the experience in this 45-minute showcase that dropped in the interim between the last episode, highlighting cosmetics and customization for characters, the scale of the school, which is like huge as hell. There's a bunch of notable locations that can be almost entirely accessed in the game. A lot of accessibility in terms of being able to see different areas of Hogwarts and some of the forest areas and stuff outward of that. A lot of dialogue options with potential impacts on characters and endings. A class system, basically not like a class system like Mage Warrior but classes like how are you going to actually go to classes. They basically explain how it'll be fit into the main story, so you'll go through missions and you'll be able to go to certain classes, and you'll have side option classes where you can go upgrade your skills, upgrade your spells, do little missions on the side and stuff. Pretty cool stuff. And then they also have a dueling club to gain skills and train, have some different combat scenarios as well, and a whole bunch more. When Hogwarts Conflict Legacy, how do you feel about it now?
Every time I see things about this game, it just makes me hate J.K. Rowling even more. It's one of those things that I am still not buying the game, but no, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm still not buying the game. It is very much looks
allegedly.
Yeah, it looks like a sick. If I play the game, it plays, but I didn't buy this shit. So it looks really, really good, and it's like insane because I don't really even see games being developed like this anymore. Like this is one of those like, yo, we're adding as much shit possible into the one game. Like usually it's like we'll add some shit here, release it, add some shit for the DLC, or add some shit in the part 2. But this is something that feels like it's stacked. It looks insane.
If this, to me, it feels like some Witcher 3 type shit. I ain't gonna lie. Just from the look of how much is there and how much area you can actually traverse, it looks ridiculous, bro. Just to get the hot topic in the room, the hairstyles and customizations, especially on black characters. Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Shout out to the black dude that was there in the video just going through, because I know he was putting good word in. He was putting good word in to get people on the team to come fix some of this up, bro. Industry, I need to be taking a look at this, taking a look at the people over there doing the good work, because listen, all the hairstyles and stuff look fantastic. They look actually like really, really accurate. Some stuff I really want to, put on that can embody what I look like in real life, throw me in there. So that's dope. Customization was fantastic. Again, just the size of bro, they literally almost 1-to-1 made this big ass version of Hogwarts. You saw it all. They didn't show the Great Hall, but they show you could just walk from the Great Hall to your house area all the way down to the Great Hall, to the library, to the Duelist Club, all the way outside the grounds, some of the common areas. Like, they made it so expansive, it doesn't make sense to me, bro. Like, again, we haven't seen quite like depth in like the expansiveness and just the quality of a single player experience like this in a minute, in terms of I guess something that we didn't expect. You know what I'm saying? Of course, God of War, you kind of feel that, like, of course it is like that. Elden Ring, I think it is like that as well. But just from an IP that we didn't expect to have this level of depth, it looks like it has that depth in spades. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm not saying I'm very conflicted right now, because J.K. Rowling ain't shit. She can kick rocks, but this game is fantastic, and I low-key want to support these devs, but the catch-22, listen, we're gonna find a way to play it somehow, allegedly, but it looks fantastic from a neutral perspective, just looking objectively at what we're seeing in the game's delivery so far, from the information that we've been given, it looks fantastic and a genuine contender for Game of the Year next year, in my opinion.
1000%. This looks like it could be Game of the Year. It'll be one of those Game of the Years where like I didn't get to play, so I have to like accept what people say.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks really, really good.
Yeah, listen, 23 gonna be a stiff year in terms of competition for Game of the Year. I tell you that. And Hogwarts Legacy putting his hat in the ring, or that one ass weird hat that told you your house. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. Don't worry about it. I know lore from Harry Potter. Anyways, moving on to the next section. The trailer trove got a good amount of stories about all the movies and stuff from this year. There is some stuff to talk about, but real quick, we just gotta put in the blurb. You know what I'm saying? Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever. Real quick before you do anything, Wen, have you seen it or no?
I'm watching it this weekend.
Okay, wonderful. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I just need to say, go watch that damn movie. Go watch that damn movie. I think we probably should do a spoiler cast like we do some of the big Marvel releases, but we probably had to map it out at some point. We'll have to call in, the Audible from Choss in the next week or so. But I'm just telling y'all, go watch that movie, bro. Go watch that movie. I will say this, given all the circumstances and everything around the film, what happened with who, what, where, this was one of the best ways a sequel with this level of circumstance has been handled that I've ever seen. Really, really good film. Enjoyable. I almost got choked up. I almost had to get a tissue, you know what I'm saying? I almost had to get the Kleenex out. But we'll go again. We'll watch it soon at some point. But fantastic film. E-Bombay. Watch that shit. Anyways, moving on to the other categories and news stories from this week. Out of the blue, out of nowhere, bro, Studio Ghibli just announced that they have an upcoming project with Star Wars, of all people. They just like, hey guys, we're back and we're doing something with Star Wars, and everybody's like, what the fuck? But with more context and news updates, we got the official confirmation that they're gonna be working on a story based around the adventures of Grogu, aka Baby Yoda from the Mandalorian series. So thoughts on this collaboration, this content, the focus, what's going on?
I think that it's sick. When I first saw it, I immediately thought of Star Wars Visions, and I was like, man, maybe they're doing something in that aspect. But obviously, a legendary studio handling a legendary franchise, only good things can ensue. I don't even like to speculate with this kind of a thing because I have no idea where they could go with this. But I think that this is going to be whatever they do. I think it's going to be super sick, and it's going to be another. It might be the final straw on the camel's back that causes Wen to get Disney Plus. Bleach was almost that straw, but we have Hulu, so we clutched it up. We didn't need it. We didn't need it. But
that's it right there. You said,
it's getting real fucking close.
No, I hear you, son. I hear you, man. The only thing I can say about this is that this movie's gonna be so adorable. My eyes are gonna melt. It's just gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be ridiculously adorable. I'm not ready. I said that very aggressive, and I mean it like that. It's going to be aggressively adorable, like crazily adorable. It's not going to make any sense how adorable it is. But again, what more can you expect from Studio Ghibli and Star Wars but a solid project? I won't even put on no thinking cap or whatever it is, bro. Grogu's going to be great. Whatever they put is going to be great. I think it's going to be a solid film. Either way you turn it out. And I'm very, very sure that Star Wars is, giving Ghibli the room that they need to make a film in their style, but also, again, show respect to the brand that they've set up in terms of Star Wars. So good stuff can only ensue. I'm in full agreement with Wen on that. Moving on to the next story here. So it seems that we're getting the next step in Sony's Spider-Verse on Amazon Prime, as Silk Spider Society is set to release as a miniseries and the first of a multi-series deal with Sony and Amazon Prime. Now, it's being led by former Walking Dead showrunner Angela Kang and executive producers Chris Miller and Phil Lord, who served on the Into the Spider-Verse film, as well as Sony's head honcho, Amy Pascal. Of course, the series will center around Cindy Moon, aka Silk, with some potential links to other Spider people in that lane that they are building up over time. So thoughts on this project?
It looks interesting. That's about as much as I could say. I tend to not steer clear of, but like when it's like Spider-Man and it's not handled by Marvel, and I'm not saying that people who aren't in Marvel can't handle a good Spider-Man show. It's just one of those things where it's like I wasn't necessarily super interested in Silk.
Mm.
I've read the first comic. It was actually pretty sick, but I was just like, it's pretty cool. There's just so many spider people that I just feel super overwhelmed by the
Overwhelmed.
sheer amount
Yeah.
of them. And it's gonna be one of those shows that it's gonna have to prove itself for me to give it like the first viewing. I'm gonna have to hear some good things before I'm like, all right, I'll
Mm.
dip my toe into it.
Yeah. Nah. This is a weird spot because Sony and Spider-Man right now don't sound good to me. It don't, because the last thing I remember is y'all trying to set some stuff up with Morbius, and whenever y'all mention that name, I can't believe we somehow got over him in the internet. I can't believe he did. That meme just died out at some point. I thought it was never going to really die out, at least for a good another 5 months, but it just disappeared, which is fantastic. Don't bring that back. It's hard for me to see what's going on, but given the track record of the showrunners of Angela Kang, the Spider-Verse crew, and Amy Pascal having direct hands into this, I think there could be potential for it to be a really good show, actually, especially with the Spider-Verse people on there, If they can bring that level of expertise and just influence onto the project, I think it can turn out to be something decent. It can really add some shine to something that I think on face value could be a little bleak for some people to basically digest in what might turn out or transpire from the show. But again, you're really trying to set all this other stuff up. What's it called? The other Madam Web is also going to be on that side of the things. I don't know if it's going to be connected to that stuff as well. You know what I'm saying? Madam Web is a whole nother kettle of fish that we got to talk about another time. That is going to be an absolute whew. But aside from all that, Silk, again, a pretty interesting character. So it's somebody I don't know too much about, but again, it's another side of the Spider-Verse, so to speak, and being able to connect that. I think based on the showrunners, this has potential to be something really good. I'll give it a fair shake, but I'm not the most excited. But I will give it a fair shake, and I think that's the most important thing for stuff like this. I'm a sucker for Spider-Man stuff, so I'll give it its just due. We'll see.
Yeah, you let me know how that goes.
I'll try. You be staring clear. My man said, "No, I don't need any more services, bro. I'm good.
I don't have the
I'm
time for that."
I'm good. We'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out. All right. On to the next topic right here. We have the Streets of Rage film project. So we know now from Deadline that Lionsgate Productions now have the rights to the Streets of Rage feature film and are planning to make a project around the beat 'em up classic. Now, John Wick creator Derek Kolstad is set to direct and pen the script, with Sega-branded film TV executive Toru Nakahara coming in to help produce, and members from DJ2 Entertainment, who did the Sonic 2 movie, and Escape Artists, who did the Equalizer franchise, will be chipping in as well. So, thoughts on this?
This actually sounds sick, actually. I'm excited. I actually played. Have you played Streets of Rage 4?
I haven't played Streets of Rage 4. I played other Streets of Rage, but not 4.
Insane. 4 is insane. Definitely check that out. Streets of Rage franchise is really, really interesting. I'm excited to see what comes of it because I'm actually a huge fan of Streets of Rage 4. It was a really fun time. Me and my girlfriend played that game. We started it on hard mode and didn't realize it. And we were just too stubborn to switch, but we beat it on hard mode. Shout outs to us. Can't believe that actually went through. But ultimately a really, really good game. I think that it is going to be, I think it would adapt to the screen very well because the story is simple enough to be told in under 2 hours or in 2 hours in general, but also gives enough depth for people to actually shows like it gives them some range for the actors to actually show out. I think that this is really sick. I hope we get like a whole slew of games. There's so many classic games that I would love to see told into a movie format. Like Streets of Rage automatically makes me think of Final Fight, which had a really interesting storyline because like it led into the Street Fighter universe, and we're not gonna touch that movie universe. But it could be one of those things where it's like, okay, people like people like Final Fight. Maybe we could start implementing some Street Fighter stories. Like I think that this is a good. This is like one of those games that it's like this could be a great film. Kind of like a game like Hotline Miami, where like story is there enough to be a good movie and short enough to be a good movie, as opposed to something like Metal Gear Solid that has like 12 hours of cutscenes for one game, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like speaking on, again, the team side of this is a really well-equipped team to handle a game like this, in my opinion, because of the level of action that's involved. I mean, when you think of John Wick, you just think of nonstop action, fantastic and creative ways to display fight scenes. And I feel like that's well suited to how what's it called, Streets of Rage just generally is as a franchise. So Derek Kolstad, I think, is well within his realm to pen something and direct something of that nature, for one. And of course, people coming in with the video game sense, of course, the actual the lore kind of experts, the people from Sega themselves, you know what I'm saying, just making sure things are tip top in terms of accuracy. Having that on that end is very good. And the escape artists as well. The Equalizer franchise, they did 7 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like they have some really good actiony, you know what I'm saying, action drama. They have a good range of basically stuff that they've done in terms of their resume. So having people from escape artists is good as well. I think probably out of all the stuff that we've covered, this is up there with probably like the top 3 or 5 most well-equipped teams to handle the IP that they're tackling, in my opinion. Like everything lines up in my head with who's on the team and how we know the story of Streets of Rage and how we know Streets of Rage plays and the experience of it. This could be a pretty solid hit. This could be a pretty solid one that definitely, you know, hops over the line of video game adaptations that actually make it to be a decent film.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we're in a really. I feel like this is one of those, like, we got the all-star team together for this moment.
The planets might definitely align on this one, bro. I think I gotta tip this one to be one of the better projects that come out in terms of video game adaptations in the next couple of years. But you know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it. But all right, moving on. I don't know how I feel about this news, but apparently Netflix is in the market to create a brand new universe in a similar ilk to American Horror Story, but with the serial killers and monsters being marketed on their programming now with the Monster series. Now, with the success of course, the Dahmer Netflix show, it seems that they ordered 2 more seasons of the Monster series with basically covering other serial killers and whatnot. Apparently, John Wayne Gacy has been tapped to be the most likely candidate for next season's focus. They want to make a universe with all these folks. What do you think about this, man?
No. Like, there's like a certain extent, I feel like true crime TV shows and movies can tap into before I'm like, this is starting to lose the point of talking about these things. The issue is when I watch things like Dahmer, like, I don't want these shows to humanize these people. I don't want to show the reasons they, like, I want them to say the reasons that they do it, but not to make it seem like an excuse. You know what I'm saying? I haven't watched any of these shows because I know what happened. I watched one documentary and I was like, okay, I know who this Jeffrey Dahmer dude is. And then after that, I was kind of done. Like, I didn't need anything more.
Yeah.
But the way we're kind of like making it out to seem, it's almost as if like these people are either 1, celebrities, 2, myths, or 3, just like misunderstood people to an extent. And I don't like any of those 3 options. Like, I think we should call them what they are, which are like, these people are monsters, but that's not like now it's like a title now. Now it's a franchise. Like, oh, we got the monsters. Like, that shit is, I hate it. These people actually hurt real people and real life stories. And imagine like somebody murders your loved one for no real reason, and no excusable reason. And then now Netflix has made a killing off the story of your dead loved ones, while also being like, we're gonna do this for everybody. Like, these people don't need to be this. We shouldn't be praising these people. We shouldn't be making shows about these people. They should be in like a documentary or an informative setting where we explain to y'all why these motherfuckers are horrible people, and we keep it pushing. Not fucking let me live with Dahmer for 12 episodes. Fuck that.
Yep, 100%. And somebody mentioned it in like one of these Twitter threads or whatever. I was reading through and just like reading up more on a story, and it was like, that's why, like, you know, Mindhunter would be cool to put these people on, but they would never do it because Mindhunter actually paints them to be, you know, like wild nut ass people. You know what I'm saying? Like, just shows the actual true nature of them, not monsters, not really anything relatable. Just isolates them and shows them of how they were, like killers, bruh. You know what I'm saying? The detestable motherfuckers, bruh. That's it though. But that's a different topic. This upsets me for 2-fold reasons. One, the reason you mentioned, we should not be romanticizing any of these fools, bro. They killed a bunch of people. They've ruined a lot of families' lives. Let's not make a series out of them just because they made some money for a documentary. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. Let's please skip over that. Who cares, bro? They're killers and murderers. There's no need to go into the story and be like, oh my gosh, like, dang, that's crazy. That could have been an error, bro. All the chicks out there watching watch these murder documentaries for, like, you know, like I'm about to say, like, love inspiration or whatever. Y'all wildin'. Y'all cannot fix people like this, bro. They killers. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave it alone. Leave it alone, Netflix. You should leave it alone just based off the fact of like how many people that you asked to consult, like the actual families, told you no, do not make this show, and you still want to go make it anyways. That should have told you already that this is probably not a good way to go. That just from a company perspective shows that they're desperate to really get something that hits big numbers. They're here for the numbers. They're here for the numbers. They're here to keep people on the platform. They're here to do that thing. They were all raving about how this was sold, like it had like 1 billion sales or 1 billion views or whatever the hell it was, and it was in ballpark range of what's it called, Stranger Things and the other show that was on Netflix that premiered. But basically, it just shows like, yo, you don't care about these people's families. You don't care about actually portraying these things accurately. You're just here for romanticizing the horror, romanticizing the murder, because that gets views. Whatever, it is what it is. Second reason why I just dislike this in general, we got to stop with the universes, guys. In real life today, there's enough evidence to suggest that there is multiple universes in our real life today. That's already an overwhelming thought. So for me to go into one movie that I don't even know nothing about, and then you tell me that there's a connected universe where there's 8 other movies that you got to watch just to get somehow sped up, brought up to speed on that, and I don't care too much about the movie in the first place, that's overwhelming. It's overused, bro. It's not even warranted. When in the hell was there overlap between John Wayne Gacy, you know what I'm saying, and what's the name, and Jeffrey Dahmer, besides maybe like one random ass convention, I guess? I don't know. What's the point? What's the point of a connected universe in things that have no business being a connected universe? Like, what the hell? You have Joe from You know what I'm saying? Random stalkers and stuff like that just in the connected universe in the corners like, hey, John Wayne Gacy, nice to meet you. Enjoy your work. Like, they never did that.
It's funny. It's funny because it's like, where are we going from here? You know, like what's the end game?
What's the serial killer's end game? Is it a Thanos of serial killers? It's like a giant ass, like it's like a cop in a department. Like you guys are gonna go to jail. And it's like, yo, we gotta stop them or else we can't commit our crimes anymore and shit. They all come through like a random ass portal and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Serial killers assemble. Like, nigga, what? That makes no sense.
Like, I'd like to talk to you about the serial killers initiative. Like,
it's a serial killer with an eye patch is coming in and he's like, listen, I'm assembling a team. Like, nigga, what do you mean? There's no team for serial killing. There's weirdos, bruh. They just kill people.
It's the CIA, and they're like, we need to keep the police budgets high, so we need to contract you. This is insane.
Oh my! They signed what's her name? I'm about to say Amanda Waller. They put her in there. Oh my gosh! The Serial Squad. The Serial Squad. Oh my gosh! This is please for everything that's good in this world. If you do not need to make a universe, don't do it. Yes, we understand that universes make money, but if it makes sense, yes, it does. Marvel has enough IP to make a connected universe because that's what they've been doing in comics for damn near 40, 50, 60, 70 years. DC, the same thing. Star Wars, you can even argue, yes, because it's all connected, just different eras of the same timeline. You can do this crossover stuff like that because some people did it at the same time. Hell, you could do certain other Marvel property. Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll even allow that. At least they was rocking folks in a fun and whimsical way. At least they was doing that. What the you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. I like some of those documentaries. Not really, but just for the joke. But what the fuck does it have to do with a connected universe? What does it have to do with it?
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, it's just some bullshit, bro. Netflix, y'all, look what the money make a bitch do. Look what the money make a bitch do. Anyways, moving on to the last story of the trailer trove here. Hollywood definitely got the chainsaws up for this one, as Netflix has officially partnered with the Coalition to develop a live-action film and subsequent adult animated series for the Gears of War franchise. Now, there's some buzz around this from fans and actors alike. We even saw Batista suit up and say, hey, listen, I need to cast me. So this could be an interesting video game film to look into, man. So thoughts on, the potential of this project and, Netflix kind of taking over the helm for Gears of War in more of a TV sense, TV and film.
I think it'd be cool. I think it's a pretty solid franchise to use. Games like this, like something that's similar to like a Doom. I don't know how they would do Doom, but like I think with the Gears of War, these characters have enough personality to be able to translate it to a pen and paper. I I'm excited to see. I think Batista would actually be a really good person to put into this
I
TV
actually
show or
agree.
film.
I actually agree.
Like there's a lot of people who I think would be very interested. Maybe even get a Henry Cavill cameo or something. 'Cause I know he's a huge gamer. And it's not really Miss Fantasy and Magic, but it definitely I feel like he knows something about Gears of
Yeah,
War.
he's got to know something. He's got to know
He's
something.
got to know something.
Nah, for real. I'm like, in terms of actual game franchises, this is the one that I think it could easily be a movie. This is one of those ones that could easily be a movie, honestly. If you get the CGI and the characters right with the Locusts and Queen Mira and stuff like that, General Rom, if you get those characters right in terms of how they're displayed, I can go, I'm not saying go like Pirates of the Caribbean level, but I need to be in that ballpark of being able to display some of those characters like a General Rom and stuff like that to get the facial expressions and everything down right. You know what I'm saying? I think that it could actually be a good movie, and the casting as well needs to be right. The writing, oh my gosh, I know the writing wasn't the greatest in the game, but like, you know what I'm saying, like there needs to be some substance there as well. But there was some good story in there, man. There's some damn good story in Gears of War. The funniest thing is though, I was talking about this the other day with somebody. I think it was Groovy J. Shout out Groovy J, and he was like, "Bro, look up the actual character of Coltrane." Or somebody was like, "Look up the actual character of Coltrane." It might have been Jin. Shout out to Jin Singh. And he was like, "Go Google the voice actor for Coltrane right now." And while you know, that ass do it when Google him. I'm about to say, and then while I'm saying that, it's weird because again, you think of all these Gears of War characters as like, you know, husky, the burly, the big dudes and stuff like that. I feel like some of that is needed. Maybe it isn't. I think it is for the essence of this game. There it is. I was stalling for that moment. You see how accurate that man looks? In terms of Coltrane, you don't need nobody else. In terms of Coltrane, Coltrane's already casted. That's him. That's
That's dope.
This man got buff as hell. He was just naturally buff as hell for the role. Like they didn't even need like crazy mocap stuff. They just put dots on him and stuff. They're like, yeah, that's it, bro. You don't need to modify your body in game. You're good. That's it. You need to put some armor on. Like that's crazy. But I will say this game could definitely be one of those ones that actually is a better adaptation because the story is well suited to a movie format, in my opinion. And the adult animated series sounds even better to me. But yeah, I'm honestly the biggest fish to fry right now is the live action casting, I think. And then everything should hopefully fall into place depending on who's directing and whatnot. But interesting stuff. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at Gears of War.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they come up with. I think that IP translates well into a TV or film setting. And there's obviously a lot of interest in it.
100%. So shout outs to that. And yeah, we're going to see how that progresses in the next couple of weeks to months to years. Hopefully we'll see more of it. And getting out to the rest of the main stories of this podcast. In that $90 is mad conflicting forum news. Battlefield 2042 is set to drop on Xbox Game Pass at the start of Season 3. This news has officially been followed behind the update that 2042 will only receive one new map for the upcoming seasons of 3 and 4, with more changes in gameplay, bugs, and quality of life being the focus. So, how do you feel about these changes for 2042?
I want my $90. We're a year into this game's life, and I feel like I haven't played it yet. I haven't played it in a long ass time. I said King convinced me to give it one more try. I don't know when I will. I do plan on giving it one more try. Maybe when it gets on Game Pass, maybe when the player base rises a little bit. Yeah, bro, we're just kind of in a rough spot. It's funny because it's like, oh, we get one more new map. I don't know why we're still making quality of life and like, because basically the thing, we're still trying to fix the shit. I don't know why we're a year into its release because I think it came out like either like this week or last week.
Yeah, I think it might have been last week. It was last week.
Yeah. And I still haven't heard any good things about the game. Like I haven't heard not one single positive thing. I'm gonna just
the railgun looked kind of cool. There was a trailer that came out like they were starting to add more like future tech stuff, and like the railgun looked kind of dope, but that's all I got.
See, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that. Actually, I'm gonna just go out on a limb here. Let me just look up Battlefield. Let's see if anybody is playing that game right now, live on air. Let's see how many people are playing Battlefield 2042. We have, oh wow, actually there's 500 people watching. Interesting. Oh, well, you learn something new every day.
That's crazy. That's a higher number than I was expecting. I ain't going front. That's a higher number than I was expecting. You know what I'm saying? But that's still less than 1,000 people. What's higher than 1,000 people right now? Go to categories higher than 1,000 people.
Let's find that out. Categories.
Anything next to it above 1,000. Anything above
1,000. We got Red Dead 2 is at 4,000.
Old ass game.
Madden 23 is actually above. It's lower than that, but above 2,000.
That's Madden, but still, that's kind of crazy given the size.
Fallout 1 is
Fallout 1.
That is insane. It's kind of embarrassing for anything under it right now, but let's just keep looking. Hollow Knight is at 651. Yeah, this is
like Hollow Knight. No disrespect to Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's Hollow Knight. You know what I'm saying? Indie classic, but like Battlefield 2042, apparently the biggest Battlefield of all time. But keep going, please.
Yeah, I believe. What did I say? Battlefield 2042 was like 500. Yes. Around there. Battlefield 1 is also at 500, which is interesting.
Equally as disappointing.
I will say it is currently 3:00 on a Friday, but it's
also
still
true.
Crazy.
But still, Fallout 1.
Crazy. Yeah, that Fallout 1 is crazy. That Battlefield 1
given the
is
same
above.
constraints. Given the same constraints, Battlefield 1 is in the same like 10 viewers, if not above you.
It is above it. It's above it by about 16 viewers.
Come on, son. That's
kind of nuts.
Come on, son. Hey, this is crazy. We gotta really talk about this. Is like, listen, man, we need to get work on these categories, bro. Flop of the year, son. We gotta talk. Cause you know what I'm saying, no disrespect to somebody, but the impact, man, we gotta this can't be understated. This is crazy. They tried to jump the gun and they got rocked. I don't know, man. Them and Halo Infinite, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy. You would honestly expect the worst thing in this calendar year out of the big main shooters to probably be Call of Duty. Especially with how the rollout was. People was getting ready to get Call of Duty all the way up out of here. And it's crazy how Call of Duty is the most enjoyed one and the most successful one out of those three by a great margin right now today. It's insane. Yeah. I can talk about it next week when I get more time on the ball because I didn't buy Call of Duty yet, but I was gonna try it out. But like it's who would have wrote it? Who would have wrote it, bro? Who would have wrote it? Listen, man, 2042. Shout out to the Game Pass though for picking it up. Come on, you huddled masses. You know what I'm saying? All your poor, come through. We'll give you a boost up. Shout out to the Game Pass though. Moving on to the next story here. We got word a couple of weeks back actually that Sony has gone into business with NCSoft, the South Korean studio behind the Guild Wars series, to create a Horizon MMORPG game. There was of course some rumblings last year with some job postings that multiplayer was coming to some Horizon experience, but we didn't know exactly what it was, or even if it was, according to Guerrilla Games. But it looks like the train's heading towards live service specifically. Which has been a growing thing for Sony, and they've been really trying to get into the live service genre the past few years. So this might be another way in. How you feel about it?
I'm all right. I'm pretty solid. I don't know if I really need the Horizon MMO. Great for the people who enjoyed this game a lot. I think the game is really solid. But I just didn't think I needed a MMORPG for this franchise. I love Horizon, but maybe I'm just not a big enough fan. I think it's cool though. MMOs are very interesting. I actually would love to see how they're going to do this as an MMO. Is it going to be a third person kind of like action MMO? Is it going to be top down like Lost Ark? I got a variety of questions. But I think it has a beautiful world that could translate well into MMO. That is for sure. I think that the world is vast and very unexplored, or at least unwritten. To our knowledge, that I think that it would be sick to see. I'm from the northern part, or I'm from like the southern part. Like it would generate a lot of interest, I think. So I'm kind of on the fence with it. I'm not necessarily looking forward to it, but I would love to check it out from like a viewer or a fan's perspective. Outside of like, I'm gonna get in this and I'm gonna grind out a bunch of hours on this.
Mm-hmm. Now, while the plot and direction is very different, it kind of reminds me of The Last of Us a little bit. Of course, post-apocalyptic, but they're in certain parts of the United States or North America, and they're kind of making their way through a completely different world, so to speak, but it's based on the same premise of that. And they could basically take that same idea where they just carve out another part of the United States and say, oh yeah, the MMO is based in this area. And then, Horizon Forbidden West went to that area. It went to, San Francisco and California and that part of the United States. But it kind of reminds me of that setup, how like, again, Last of Us 1 was in like a couple of different areas, and then Last of Us 2 went to like Washington and stuff like that, and like other parts like that. Apparently the multiplayer is going to be in San Francisco. That's what a lot of rumors have stated, or a lot of the pictures when they revealed that first. It'll be like, deep West San Francisco and like California area and stuff. So it's a lot of different things to consider. But Horizon, I'm not mad at. Again, this plays into Sony wants to go super live service. They know a lot of money is being held in there. I feel like Final Fantasy 14 really put a lot of eyes on live service over the past couple of years. Like, yo, there's still a bag to be made over here. So Sony's trying to like, line up as much of a big effort to push into this lane as they can. I feel like, we've seen that happen a couple of times. Babylon's Fall, I think it was Babylon's Fall, the one that got canceled or whatever, the ending of the servers. That was an attempt that was in there. So they're going to try and basically intensify and do their stuff. And some people, I've heard the kind of the argument that, oh yeah, or I guess the rhetoric that what's it called? Horizon's getting pimped out. And I'm like, do you not see every other Sony IP? It's just their turn, bro. It's just their turn. We've said this before on this podcast. Every major IP has their turn in the sun to get pimped out to everything, bro. You're going to have movie, TV show, one major game, spin-off, mobile game, whatever, inclusions in other PlayStation properties or whatever the hell you want, or collaborations. Like, it's just Horizon's turn in the sun for that. Now, you see God of War is not too far behind. God of War Ragnarök came out, you know what I'm saying? And then the TV show's coming. Something else might come through. Then Last of Us is lining up again. They have their whole stuff coming through. Like, they're just trying to maximize on the IP. And it's because Sony's very first party heavy and exclusive heavy, they're going to have to lean on that as much as possible to, to get their coin and expand, so to speak. So, I'm not mad at the choice of where they're going with their live service. And that is just kind of a statement of fact that they're going to use their biggest IPs to get a foothold in those markets. So kind of have to get used to that if you're unfamiliar. But, NCSoft, again, Guild Wars, I'm not too familiar with Guild Wars itself, but they're a 10-year franchise. I know Guild Wars has been around for at least a decade plus or more. Like literally probably 15 years, I think. Even more than that.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Guild Wars too, and it was one of the most fun I've had in an MMO to date, actually. It was really, really, because it was very fast, and that's something that's different from like World of Warcraft, where it's like, you press a button, sometimes the spell needs to charge, same thing with like Final Fantasy, but the beauty behind this game was that it felt like a first-person game. Like everything was fast, all the spells were fast. Obviously, it makes the game a little bit more harder, but it makes it very engaging. And that was one of my biggest, like, I loved about Guild Wars. And honestly, the Guild Wars 2 is probably one of the best MMOs I actually played. Like, I'm like talking about it, and I'm really thinking like that game was amazing. The only reason I didn't play Guild Wars as much, or even until this day, is just one, I don't have time for MMOs anymore. And two, there just wasn't a huge community behind it, because it wasn't an MMO like WoW where you paid every month, so people were there consistently. They made their money off of like expansions and events. So like there isn't always consistent updates because you're not getting consistent money built in. Like you have to plan around shit. So I think that those people being at the helm is like fucking amazing. But it really just depends on how many people are really excited for Horizon. I think it's one of those franchises that like I don't think it gets as much love as the other PlayStation franchises. And I think it could just be because of how different it is from most games that are popular. Like it's very different from like God of War. It's very different from Ghost of Tsushima. It is a very different game, but a good game nonetheless.
I think it's also timing, man. It's also timing. Like literally, you got to realize that whenever a major release, I got to remember when the first one came out and like the releases that dropped around it. But it usually got like, it got its shine at first, but then there was some other big fish in that pond that basically kind of took some shine away from it. Especially this year, they dropped literally the same stretch of time the Elden Ring dropped, and they had their couple of weeks. But as soon as Elden Ring was like getting early review scores, they were out of here. You know what I'm saying? And it's it's an unfortunate byproduct of being in a release schedule like you are. You want to have enough room to be in a big window or a competitive window, but then some really big fish that people are just super loyal to in terms of brand or super excited for just off of virtue of the title, they go in and then they're not paying too much attention to in Horizon. But again, it is what it is. But again, I think Horizon, Forbidden West was probably one of the better, again, definitely one of the better games this year for one. And I think MMO, I think it could suit it, honestly. Again, with the premise, with how the world is set up, I think it's easy to pluck out a spot of land and call that MMO, and then have that gameplay, as long as it's, again, smooth, fast, very engaging. It's something that can, probably stand the test of time.
Yeah, I fully agree with you.
Yeah, 100%. So moving on to this next report here, as James Gunn and Peter Safran are getting into their roles as co-heads of the DC universe in media moving forward. WB Discovery head David Zaslav mentioned the strategy of DC going forward, basically wanted it to be an overarching Bible that James Gunn and Peter Safran crafted, connecting all facets of the brand, including video games. So what does this really mean for, any of the DC games going forward? How's it including the strategy? I mean, does this change things? How might it change things? How do you feel about this one?
I think it's a great idea, because I don't think we've seen anything like this. I feel like the game, the movies, shit, even the comic books, everything is kind of very disconnected. I think the written medium should definitely stay disconnected to give them room to explore avenues that movie and video games just don't have the budget to do. Because a comic book or a storyline that flops isn't as detrimental as putting 5 years into a game that flops,
Yeah.
I think that this is sick, because honestly, not every DC game, but we don't have that many DC games to really go off of. But Gotham Knights was given a bad rap. For a variety of reasons, but I know when the story was being unfolded, it just didn't look as good. And it's I think if they had something to refer to, or even people to have just not necessarily to refer to, but yo, this is how we envision shit. So if you have any ideas, or you don't really care strongly for Batgirl's backstory, use this. This is what you should refer to when creating it. If you don't have any idea, let's not go off the walls crazy here, but this is a guideline. I think that would benefit people who are stepping into this video game space, or companies that just aren't that interested in maybe making a Batman game, but they're yo, this is what the company wants, so this is what we're going to produce. I would love to see connections between films and movies and games. I would love to see that connection being made, but it really just ultimately depends on how good this Bible is, and how willing companies are to adopt it. Because another thing you have to think of is I'm creating this video game. I got the IP of Batman. I'm able to make a Batman game, and now you're telling me I have guidelines. That's not what I signed up for. I wanted to make my own Batman game. So it really it's kind of tough. Because I as a person who, as a fan of Batman, I don't want, or a fan of any DC medium, I would want the representation of my characters to be top notch. I want the best creative minds all behind it, making the best possible decisions. But as a creator, I would hate to be pigeonholed and told I can't do this Batman story because of XYZ. And it's a tough spot to be in. But I fucking hate it when Batman uses guns, but some people don't care about that.
Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong. So I again, my hope with this is that there's enough love given to the video game side of things. If that's going to be included in the strategy, I hope they get enough love and resources to where they don't get led astray, but also enough space to where the devs can do their work. If we have the capacity to make another, and I'm not saying word for word, but in terms of the creative process, give people enough reign to make an Arkham Asylum type game or something like that. Not in style, but just how they were able to do their thing, take the source material and develop it on their own. They had some baseline, they had some, some guides, but they made it their own. What's it called? Suicide Squad, Killer Justice League, when it comes out next year. Hopefully that's a good indicator, and I hopefully it leaves a positive impression on the new team, the new studio heads, just to see, hey, listen, this is what it can be. This is what we can make it consistently if we have enough time, dedication, and enough breathing room on the dev side, but enough attention and resources on the studio side to give us what we need to make stuff happen. And then think about the games that, you know, could be made from it. Like there's a lot of games in the DC universe that could be made, but we just haven't had the developers to really do it, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Even in the future, maybe a dreaded Superman game could actually exist. Who knows, bruh? Who has any idea of what could come next? But I'm interested to see that. Again, the DC universe has a lot of room to work, in my opinion. It could be a really great set of stuff. I don't want it to be like the olden days where just a random ass cheap video game dropped alongside the movie. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do any of that stuff, but dedicated projects that do connect with some facets of the DC universe, that would be fantastic. And that's what I hope for. Consistency and support. That's what I hope for this overarching strategy that they have going forward. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I fully agree. I don't want people's creative vision to be stifled, but I also don't want bad games and bad choices, because I think it's more important for the movies than the video games itself. But at the same time, it's like we don't know what the future of DC games holds, because that's like an area that hasn't been explored yet.
Facts. And before we go any further, it just popped in my head, man. Huge rest in peace to the GOAT Kevin Conroy. Before we do anything else, man. I can't believe I didn't write that on show notes at first, bro. But yeah, that joint stopped me in my tracks midweek or last week or whenever it happened. It's been a blur, to be real, but shout outs to the GOAT, the voice of Batman. I don't care what you say. Whenever I read something, whenever millions of people read something in Batman's voice, that's his voice that pops up. That man revolutionized what it means to be Batman in any media format. So rest in peace to the GOAT. He already been getting his flowers for years, so I'm glad he's been experiencing that love before he passed on. You know what I'm saying? So much service to the role. Like, I know everybody likes to hate on Batman and do that stuff, and like, oh, Batman just beat a mentally ill motherfuckers, da. But he showed so much of Batman in terms of, again, the side that was conflicted with being the Dark Knight, but also the human side, like him losing his parents and not figuring out where to go. So much emotion that he conveyed in so many parts of his role, from the animated series to the movies to whatever. He was Batman. And if you want to rank Batman in terms of whatever media outlet, top to bottom, whoever's casted, he's my number one all the time, every single time. There is no debating on my end. So rest in peace to the GOAT, Kevin Conroy. Voice will be missed.
Yeah, I can agree to that sentiment. I can't see anybody better than Kevin Conroy as Batman in any kind of medium, shape, way, or form.
None.
Batman is Batman.
Not a single fucking one, bro. Legend status, bro. Immortalized, ripped to the GOAT, man. Will be missed, but that man lives on forever, for real. All right, moving on to the next piece right here. So Twitter, yeah, Twitter. Twitter's been put through the ringer over the past week or so, and it's been wild to see everything develop. So I'm gonna try and get through this as fast as I can. So bear with me here. Gonna take a deep breath. All right. So Elon Musk walks in with a sink. He then starts changing a bunch of internal programs and processes at the company. He launches Twitter Blues. People can buy verified badges at $8 a month. Hella people impersonate and troll. Then it's removed. Then it's brought back with 2 different badge marks. See who's official and who's paying for their check mark, with a note from Elon that without those check marks should expect the algorithm to not pick up their tweets as much as those with a check. So unverified people have basically asked out in terms of the algorithm, I guess. Then gets rid of the majority of 2-factor authentication teams, and people can't log back in. Elon then bans and fires those who question him both internally on Slack and on the app itself. He cuts more internal processes and fires people, realize he needs people to work in, so he rehires some of the people, including some of the people who memed it as well. He dissolves senior leadership into the board, so all the decisions run through him. He plans Twitter 2.0 and set a foreboding warning to all the employees, saying hours will be longer and more intense just to get the job done. If they don't agree, they'll get their fire and severance pay. But now it's backtracking because hella people are resigning in mass because they do not want to commit to that crazy ass plan. Twitter is now subject to mass exodus from a lot of staff. It's now being reported that the app might get hit with breaks in the user experience as soon as today, and there isn't even enough people to cover those services and core breakages around the app's internal interface, user experience, whatever you want to call it. And on top of that, Elon Musk said that finding a CEO to help him reduce his time at the company is on the cards. What the hell? Go ahead, Wen.
How do I say this? It's weird, man. It's like I'm watching one of my Twitter is hands down my favorite social media platform.
Absolutely.
1000% easily. Not my favorite to create on, just my favorite to enjoy as a consumer. And I'm losing that social media app because a guy, like, I saw this tweet that encapsulated it wonderfully. Elon Musk buying Twitter is like when gamers think they know how to do the jobs of a dev. Like, it's literally that. It's like I use this shit all the time, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then they get a hold of the reins and they ruin it completely.
Mhm.
It is a perfect example of fucking around and finding out. And although I will miss Twitter for all that it's been, seeing this shit happen to Elon is probably the funniest thing I've ever been able to live through in my entire life. We have to live through like horrible, historical, terrifying moments in these past 26 years I've been alive. But seeing somebody fuck up their bag off of thinking off of just being I don't even know what the word is, man. Like, I don't even know what you can call this. This is just the biggest bag
The-
fumble I've seen
yeah,
in years. Like, this
it's
is
a
this is
it's a legendary
astronomical.
It's a legendary. It's weird. It's weird. But go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna explain my point in a
Like,
second. But go ahead.
it's crazy to me. Like, this is so enormously embarrassing. I can't imagine this not being in any in history books to come. Like, it doesn't even, like, we could talk about like the war of 17. We could talk about like the American Revolution, and I want the next
Yeah.
section to just be like, yo, so Elon Musk blew $44 billion. Like, I don't care where you put it in the history books, but it has to be there because you have to understand how much money this is and how this motherfucker trolled his way into fucking up the platform that he used to troll on. That is crazy. Like, that is so fucking hilarious. Rest in peace to Twitter if it dies, but man, is this the funniest way it could have ever gone out? Like, I think this is beautiful. It's better than Vine. Vine just kind of died. This is like,
Yeah.
you're seeing the saga unfold. You
And
guys
then
let him believe he was important in this app. He bought it and now he's ruined it. It's Shakespeare is turning over in his grave because he didn't write this.
Oh man, now this is weird, bruh. Because I'm in a difficult spot with this. I completely agree with you for one, because fuck this nigga for one thing. Guy's a piece of shit. I don't care. I do not care for this man one bit. But it's hilarious seeing this guy come in with a sync day one, thinking everything's gonna go smooth, and he starts implementing random ass, wild ass cuts, all this stupid shit. And then it backfires on him. Then he has to go start, calling people in to stay at the job, but they're all leaving because they don't agree with the stupid shit that he's doing. It's just funny to see all the backfires and him trying to basically plug all the holes in the sinking ship that he cut holes in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And it's just funny to see him squirm a little bit. It's funny to see him struggle. But at the same time, it sucks because Twitter is definitely my favorite social app. It's the one I'm on the most. It's the one I'm most connected with in terms of the gaming community. It's the one where I've been the most successful in terms of, a lot of different people reaching out to me or I reach out to them, and being active and out there. And on top of that, in a general sense, Twitter is such a hub for just communication and information. Most of it being, whether it be pointing out some wild process or whatever in a different part of the world, critiquing all the BS that Elon Musk puts out. Because that video of like the defective Teslas and the shoddy parts being put together was on Twitter a lot, and that was circulating heavily too. So being such a big aggregator of information, critiques against establishments, and basically a lot of things that causes, it's a facilitator for mobility in a lot of different causes. To be real, it's a facilitator for a lot of mobility and for a lot of different causes and good things. For that to be shot in the foot because this guy did it, I feel like it's halfway on purpose. I feel like it's halfway on purpose to shoot it in the knee. You know what I'm saying? Somebody on Twitter was like, yo, it's election season, so this man's messing up Twitter on purpose so people don't get the information they need. So if it goes down permanently, a lot of people are screwed. They got to go somewhere else to get the information. And a lot of people not going to give it to you straight on like a Facebook or something like that. So it's a real catch-22. It's a real double-edged sword seeing Twitter go down, because while I like and I really enjoy this man being proved as a fraud day in and day out on a consistent basis, we're losing a platform. Or at least I don't think we're losing, but we're at least seeing a lot of breakages and damage to a platform that not only we enjoy as, just general consumers and general, people in the gaming industry, one that connects so many different people, one that, enables so many people to do a lot of different things. We're also losing information in a general sense to keep us informed on the BS and fuckery that happens in society as a whole globally. You know what I'm saying? It's such a big driver for global information and being in the know. Some stuff I never would have known if it wasn't for Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Something I never even know was happening. The one dude who was making water in that one state, he had a water generator. He was purifying his own water. I wouldn't even have known. You know what I'm saying? The government would have been had him, and I would have never known that story even existed. But it's in my head now. You know what I'm saying? Because of Twitter. So it's a real double-edged sword, man. It's just sad, bro. I don't think Twitter's necessarily gonna die because there's always gonna be people like that he can hire to like, you know, keep the app running. But damage is certainly being done. And it's just a weird place right now. But again, without fail, the memes have been hilarious. You can always bet on Twitter that whenever there's a crisis, whenever something's happening, you can always bet that Twitter will be hilarious, bro. Especially Black Twitter, bro. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a tweet talking about like North Korea launched another ballistic missile test, right? And then somebody quote tweeted it with a clip of Tyler Perry in a play, and he was like, "Calm down." He's like, "Calm down. You were bringing your information to a grown folk conversation. We're not trying to hear that right now." He said, "Hold that thought. Hold that." I was on the floor, son. I was like, "Bro, we can't be so unserious, so unserious." Yeah. What are you gonna do, man? It's Twitter.
Yeah, it's sad, but out of my hands, I didn't pay for it.
Facts. I didn't spend that $8, bro. I'm not spending that $8. I'm sorry, bro. To the LLC folks and people who are spending that $8, respect to y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to my homie Cray. Shout out to Cray. I know. Cray don't care though. Cray don't care though. That's whatever. I'm about to say he's got his own motivations, and that's fine. I respect that, man. But I can't give him my $8. I can't give Elon my 8, bro. I'm sorry. But yeah, Twitter will be twittering, man. Twitter will be twittering. All right. Anyways, on to our penultimate story real quick. We had a new trailer from Flying Wild Hog, of course, the people behind the Shadow Warrior series and Trek to Yomi. They dropped a new trailer for Evil West that's dropping in December, showing off gameplay, the graphics and gore, the co-op features, and more. How'd you feel about the new look at Evil West before it drops?
It looks interesting. It kind of reminds me of Remnants of the Ash. Yes. I don't know if they didn't make that game, right? I don't think they did.
I don't. They could have, but I can search it up. But yeah,
it looks like Remnants of the Ash, amazing game, and it looks actually really interesting. I'm very interested. I haven't beaten Remnants of the Ash because I wanted to play co-op with Panda, and we just kind of got buried in games. But honestly, a phenomenal. That is a really good game. And if this plays like that, then I definitely am interested. Shout outs to Outriders because they're taking the shit that you're trying to run with, and a lot of they're doing what you're trying to do, bro.
Man, I ain't heard that game in a long time. It's been 84 years, boy. Outriders.
Cigarette drag.
I haven't heard that name in a long time, boy. That's crazy.
Shit, I rode right out my life. That's what it did.
Bro, that's another one, bro. I ain't heard not a peep of that game, bro. Oh my goodness gracious.
And you won't.
And I want to get. And I want after this episode. And I want to get. Oh man, but hold on. Evil West did look great though. Evil West did look fantastic.
Does look really good.
I'm very interested to play it. I really do want to play it though when it drops. Flying Wild Hog has really. They've caught my eye a lot more now in recent years, especially with Trek to Yomi earlier this year. Great developer from my ends. I really enjoyed what they've put out, and this looks no different. So again, I'm excited for Evil West. I'm gonna try and cop it if I can.
Yeah, I think it looks interesting. I definitely am also interested. I want to see what it plays like, but I'm very interested.
Yeah, not 100%. All right, on to the final story of this week. It's time. The Game Awards categories have released for this year's Game Awards going down December 8th. And of course, the Mountain Dew and Dorito Pope had to grace us with all these categories of different games and what's going on and what's happening with us. So we got to break it down, man. We got to talk about everything that's been going down these categories. Some we can skip through, some we can, kind of take our time on. But let's start with most anticipated game. The most anticipated game going into next year, we have the categories Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Starfield, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Damn. Now, this is also a conversation for 2023, but like, again, because it is literally, but 2023 stacked, bro. Oh my gosh.
It is. I have my answer, though. I think it's pretty clear. Legend of Zelda. It's 1000% Legend of Zelda. I think it's it's easily. No offense to the other games, they're all very anticipated. I
Ooh,
think maybe the next one up there would just be Hogwarts. And the only reason not
interesting.
no disrespect to Resident Evil 4, but we've played Resident Evil 4. We've
Nah,
all
the
played
Resident Evil is lowest on this list to me because it's a
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Starfield, okay, Bethesda, make a good game on release and then we'll talk. Final Fantasy looks great,
It's
but
fantastic.
there is one game here that is like that this moved units. People weren't buying PlayStations for Final Fantasy. This was why people bought a Switch. Like my brother, this is one of the only game he had a Switch for a while. This is the only game he ever beat and did every shrine and everything. This game is insane. So the sequel to that, yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I would tend to agree based on that logic. He definitely did change my mind personally. I know I'd have probably Final Fantasy 16 at the top, followed by Hogwarts Legacy, then Legend of Zelda because I don't got my Switch yet. I will have it before the end of the year. But if another Switch comes out on release of this game, I'm gonna be so mad because I got peer pressured into buying a Switch this holiday season.
Nobody told
No,
you to.
no, I'm claiming it for the narrative. I'm claiming for a narrative. I don't want y'all to be right. I don't want y'all to be right. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's all in my head, bro. It's like the meme with Moon Knight. What was in his mind? But don't worry, all right. It's just narrative. Let me have my narrative. Let me have it. Let me have it. All right. But I do agree with you though. I do think it is Tears of the Kingdom though. Like it's gonna. People lose their shit when Zelda pops up on screen. It is what it is, right? It's a console seller. Let's be real. So yeah, I can agree with that being a winner. I can definitely predict that pretty confidently. Innovation and Accessibility Award. Lots of different categories here. We have As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. I would personally say it's probably going to be As Dusk Falls or God of War Ragnarok. Whenever God of War releases these past two games, they've always had a big dossier of just accessibility information, and it's really good stuff. Honestly, when I started the game, like earlier this week, I was like, yo, there's a lot of options here. Like, yo, I actually use some of them just because they help me out in my focus and concentration. Like, especially the text because I'm halfway blind and shit. But you know, I think it's one of those two, honestly.
My money's gonna be, so I would say God of War or Last of Us Part 1, just because of like a lot of the research that I did for certain videos that I made. A lot of like the accessibility examples came out of the Last of Us franchise, and if Last of Us Part 1 has the same accessibility options as Part 2, then it's like insane. Like having the crosshair, having your controller vibrate when your crosshair is on top of an enemy is really fun.
Dope.
Like that's insane.
Fire.
That's crazy to me.
That's fire.
I think it's awesome, and honestly, like I'm happy that we have this category in general. Love what these people are doing with their games. Keep going.
100%. I do agree, man. Again, for all these games to be even nominated for doing stuff in accessibility is a really good thing. So again, keep it up. I agree. Next up is Games for Impact. We have A Memoir, Blue, As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenage Exo-colonist. I have not played, had the chance to play any of these games yet, but I am actually very interested in some of these games to try and go take a look at. I have no idea who could win from this. You know what I'm saying? I would just say at Hindsight because of Annapurna. Annapurna usually be winning that, or Memoir Blue. Annapurna be usually getting these categories like, you know, down packed. But yeah, I mean, anyone else could win and I'll be fine, honestly.
1000%. I might be on the same type time as you. I might actually play all 6 of these on stream at some point because these games sound amazing. I love me a good feeling game. I beat Stray, and that like almost had me crying. So the fact that Stray didn't even make the cut on this game, and I'm fucking. So these games have to be some pure heat if the impact is that deep. So I definitely can't wait to try them out.
Facts. Moving up the list a little bit, we have Content Creator of the Year. Category full of people named Carl Jacobs, Ludwig Nebelion, No Brew, and QT Cinderella. I, for one, don't know or watch any of these niggas. There's only one answer here. It's Nebelion. It should be. Nibel don't even do content no more. He's a better content creator. He didn't even do content in general. He was just a news aggregator, in my opinion. But he still did it better than most. I don't care for anybody else on this list like that, bro. If you want to have a whole nother existential conversation about it, if you want to have a whole nother macro level conversation, Kxngviii should be on this list, but crazy.
Yes.
But you know, they don't watch black folk. They don't do anything. They don't want anything to do with black folk creators until we do something crazy that somehow involves whatever XQC's dancer or whatever he comes in the stream every like, you know, once every 5 months or something like that, or once in a while, and blah blah blah. But Kxngviii should be on this list, and he should be winning by a landslide. But since he's not there, I'm going to Bellion because he was the greatest aggregator this site will ever see. Simple as that.
1000%.
Simple as that. Best VR AR, we got After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2. What do you think of this? I'll let you take the lead on this one.
I'm definitely gonna go with Among Us. I think Among Us with VR is just a crazy ass experience. I haven't played any of these games. I don't have a VR headset. Y'all want to change it? Y'all know what the Kofi is. But as of right now, looking at this, I want to say it's Among Us because of how crazy funny it could be. But all these games seem really interesting to play.
Yeah, man. Dude who made the Oculus, do not give me that wild ass nut ass SAO Oculus. Just give me a regular basic one to review, bro. You don't have to give me the other one, please. I don't want to die when I play Among Us. Thank you. But I agree, it's Among Us, 100%. The amount of clips I've seen coming from VR, bro, it's had a whole second life because of the VR application, bro. Like it looks great. It looks great. People are having so much fun with it. I remember you see the one clip was like a little kid in there. He was like, "You're a monster," and he was chasing him. He was like, "Ugh." But I'm like, just moments like that are hilarious, bro. So I mean, for off that alone, the level of moments that have been had off of it, Among Us has to take it.
1000%.
All right, moving on. Where are we at here? I scrolled up a little bit. Hold on, excuse me.
Best sim and strategy.
Best sim and strategy or best sports and racing?
Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, you're right.
Aha. Okay, on Bet Sports and Racing, we had F1 22, FIFA 23, NBA 2K23, Gran Turismo 7, and Ali World. The rebel in me will always say Ali World, you know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. I only want one of two games to even win. Ali World and FIFA 23. FIFA, in past years, I didn't even care if FIFA even won an award. I honestly rather they didn't in these categories. But if Ali World don't win, I'm not mad if FIFA wins this year, because honestly, this is probably one of the best FIFAs they had in the past few years. Again, right now they got the ultimate soundtrack, so the best FIFA tracks are on there. So I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic and whatnot. It's a World Cup year, so they have extra modes and stuff. They've made some strides and improvements, and this is the last FIFA before EA really gets to pick it up in gear and drops the FIFA name. So that would be cool. But my vote hopefully goes for Ali World. But you know, it is what it is.
I only want Ali World to win. And I say that off the strength of, like, even with the FIFA soundtrack, I'd put the Ali World soundtrack right up there, if not above it.
Ali World soundtrack is heat too.
Crazy.
It's heat too.
Crazy.
It is definitely heat too. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. All right, moving up the category a little bit to best sim and strategy. We have Dune Spice Wars, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Total War, Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, and Victoria 3. I'll let you lead up on this one.
I'm gonna go with Total War Warhammer 3. I really want to play the Mario Rabbids game. It looks really good. I cannot express how much I love the Total Warhammer franchise, especially with the game now has a map where you can play as all the factions from all 3 games. Like, that is just some shit that you don't really see that much. It sucks that you still have to you still have to buy the first game and the second game and the DLCs of those characters to play them in the third game. But the fact that those DLCs don't lose their life after the first or second game is
pretty
something
cool.
That really brings a lot of value to it. I didn't want to buy those I didn't want to buy those DLCs when I got the first game. Even when I got the second game, I'm like, I don't want to buy them. And then when the second game said we're dropping a map where you can play as all the factions, that's what really changed my mind. I was like, no, I'm gonna go back and pay for these. Like, I'm buying DLCs that are like years old now. I think that this game is phenomenal. I love the franchise, and I really would love. I think a lot of more people should tap into it because it's insanely good.
Wow, I did not know that. That's actually a rare case. I would low-key want to research that. It's like just additive DLCs, like actually holding its weight years later, not just like, oh, there was a map pack that had its life cycle and now it's pretty much over. You can do whatever now. Yep. That's actually pretty wild. Off the strength of just like how people received it, I'll probably edge it to Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope because people just know it more. But given that information, honestly, Warhammer could be an interesting pick. I wouldn't be mad if that one won either. I saw some buzz about Spice Wars as well, but I think Mario Rabbids probably going to take the category.
Yeah, I try them all out, but I think a lot, and I think Dune and Total War are both on Game Pass.
Dang, yeah.
So you can definitely try it.
So I'm gonna have to dip in. Say less. All right, moving on to best score and music. We're seeing some of the heavy hitters make their first little, you know what I'm saying, peek out of the blinds. We have Olivier Derivier, Plague Tale Requiem, Tsukasa Saito for Elden Ring, Bear McCreary for God of War Ragnarok, Two Feathers for Metal Hellsinger, and Yasunori Mitsuda for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, based off of everything that I've played so far, I'm going to have to slightly edge it to Elden Ring, but I can see all this being a close battle. But Elden Ring soundtrack, I ain't going front. That joint boosted that game to like a 10, 11. I ain't gonna lie to you, son. Every time I was in a big boss fight, you just felt, you felt pain on you, stuff like that. Like it was very, very good. It was fantastic from top to bottom, in my opinion. That soundtrack was elite, and it really boosted the performance of everything, bro. It just made you feel like you were that much further into you know, the lands between. So shout out to Tsukasa Saito. In my opinion, I think that might take the category, but it's close.
I like all these. I haven't heard Plague Tale and I haven't heard Xenoblade. I want to give it a medal, and the reason I want to give it to medal is because I think it would mean so much more for them to win that.
Yeah, because it was so ingrained in the gameplay. It's literally the basis of the gameplay.
And like I think that like if we gave it to Elden Ring, it'd be like, oh, awesome, good job. And I'm sure, and I played Elden Ring. It has a really good franchise. I just want Metal to win. This is very much biased. Yeah. I just want them to win because I think that it would mean the world to them. And it would maybe even green light a second game, which is what I would love to see. I would love to see them get more love.
Not 100%. Again, like with a game style that's so predicated on the music, and if they were able to pull it off, that would be definitely a big win for them if they snag this category. So yeah, I understand. I understand that choice. Moving on to the next category here, we have best role-playing game. So we have 5 potential entrants here. We have Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
This is tough.
Yeah, difficult.
I want to say it's Elden Ring. Even though Live Alive is like your more traditional role-playing game, Elden Ring has too many role-playing aspects to ignore it as a role-playing game. So I think it might have to be. I think it might have to be that. Like I'm gonna stick with Elden Ring. It's a tough decision, but I think it's gonna be Elden Ring. I haven't played Xenoblade or the other games yet, but just off of just seeing or from what I've seen, I'm gonna give it to Elden Ring.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It might be that or Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Honestly, I've heard a lot of good things about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of that franchise, but people have been like raving about it who have been fans, and like some of my friends that I talk to that are like big, you know, Xenoblade heads. So I think it's between them two, but I think I'm gonna have to edge Elden Ring because of my experiences with it for one, and what I think, you know, some of the voters would go with too. I feel like there was just so much aspects to how you could immerse yourself into the world of Elden Ring. There was literally so much you could get involved with. Like, just to put it into context a little bit, I didn't know there was another underground area. Like there's like 4 or 5 underground areas, like a whole underground section to the map, son. And before I finished the game, somebody's like, "Oh yeah, go in that thing over there behind the waterfall." I'm like, "What thing behind the waterfall?" And it was a whole nother area. I'm like, "What is this?" It's a whole nother thing you gotta explore, son. I'm like, I gotta go back and do it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The amount of stuff you can get into is wild. I kind of agree with Elden Ring as well. Moving down to best performance, we have Ashley Birch, Horizon Forbidden West, Charlotte McBurney, A Plague Tale Requiem, Christopher Judge, God of War Ragnarok, Manon Gage for Immortality, and Sunny Soljic for God of War Ragnarok as well. So some tough options, some stiff competition. I'm not mad. I'm a little bit of bias here. I ain't gonna lie. I think Charlotte McBurney, Christopher Judge, and Sunny Soljic are probably one of my top 3 get picked. I think that Charlotte McBurney might take this because of her performance in Plague Tale Requiem. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there was a lot of dialogue lines from what I saw in there, and there was a lot of like room for her performance to shine out. And I'm not mad if any of those 3 win it. But I feel like there's gonna be a slight tip towards her. There might be a slight bias towards her to take it. But again, I could be wrong. I think it's how it go.
I'm gonna go Christopher Judge off of ignorance.
For the vibe.
I haven't seen anything of Plague's Tale. That's why I hate saying Christopher Judge, just because I feel like I'm not giving everybody a fair
Yeah.
shot. Um, Horizon is a great game, but like when I think of like God of War, I think of those moments, and like I don't like I want to even give like the writers the flowers for God of Wars, because some of these like
Yeah.
just moments are so fucking well, not only well
Intense.
done,
Just
and but just like the writing, like I can't remember what Atreus asked Kratos, and he was like, "No," or some shit. It was very early on in the beginning of the game,
yeah.
and I was just like, "Damn, I feel this shit. Like this shit is going crazy right now." So I'm
Oh, he
gonna say
was like
Christopher Judge.
he was like something like, "Do you hate me?" or something like that, or do you not believe me or some shit like that.
Something like I
It was
can't.
something like that. It was something
Yeah,
like that where it's like he like, do you not respect me? Like, do you not value me or some shit like that? As
yeah, yeah,
Atreus.
yeah.
Yeah. And he was
It
like, nah,
was
nah.
it was nuts. But
It might have
I
been
think that
it
the
might have been, are you angry with me? I think it was, are you angry with me? I think it was some shit like that. But whatever.
yeah, no, I think, but again, wonderful talent from everybody here.
Yeah. Nah, 100%. And I can't wait to finish the game to get more context on God of War and to see everything. But again, that's just my pick. I think Charlie might take it. I think you think Chris might take it. Cool, cool, cool. Best ongoing game. Next category here. Apex Legends. Apex Legends. Destiny 2. Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. Get Apex Legends off this list. Get it off this list right now, bruh. Y'all been stagnant for a good few months now. Let's not jump the horse here. It should be Fortnite by a country mile. I don't care right now. I'm a Fortnite advocate at this point in life. Fortnite should be winning this pretty clearly, in my opinion. How many collabs and how many solid inclusions to the game are you gonna add, bro? It's Fortnite. It's Fortnite. It's Fortnite. I'm sorry, y'all. It's Fortnite. Say what you want. It's Fortnite. Go ahead, Wen.
So I think that if Apex or Destiny wins, I'm actually gonna be pretty pissed. I don't think that either of them really deserve it. I think it would probably be Fortnite because of no build mode was so life changing.
Mm.
But anybody else but those two, really.
Yeah, nah, I agree. I agree. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, again, if Apex Legends somehow wins, I know EA's paying hella ducats for these voting systems, bro. It's rigged. It's rigged out here. We need to do a recount. You know what I'm saying? Throw them polls in the river or something like that. I don't know, but it is what it is. Fortnite should be winning this pretty handily, in my opinion. But moving to best narrative, here's where it gets juicy. Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. Heavy category right here, man. Just based on the story of the game, the narrative. This is tough. I don't know when. How do you have it?
It's God of War. It's either God of War or Plague Tale. I love Elden Ring, but I couldn't tell you the story, to be honest with you. I loved it as a game, not necessarily as a story. The world was amazing. A lot of things are awesome. But I think that God of War kind of sets itself up to be basically a very interactive movie. And I want to say Plague Tale does similar. So I can't see it being Elden Ring because like you are just ingrained in this character of Kratos' kid. Like you are kind of invested, and in Elden Ring, people are running around naked with like magic wands, and there's like no, like I don't even know who I'm fighting. Like I don't even know who I have to. I'm fighting to get the Elden Ring. I know that, but like there are a lot of motherfuckers whose names I don't even remember, or people who are talking and like I don't even know who the fuck you are, or like a reason to care. But like God of War gives you these crazy cinematic fucking cutscenes where you're sitting there and they're like you're like even having a drink with Thor, like that is like a fucking moment. Whereas like in Elden Ring, it would have been like you sat there and they like talked to you and they had like the text on it and you're just standing there like butt naked with your staff. Like that's like the moment in Elden Ring. I don't think that it has a bad story or a bad environment. I love the environment and the lore behind it, but the storytelling is done in a way that I feel like would resonate. Yeah, it resonates with less people than the way God of War does it, where it's like we're gonna make you watch a half-hour cutscene.
Yeah. And it's just the difference in delivery of how it goes. But I try to key into much of the story as possible. Honestly, some of the storylines are really like engaging. You know what I'm saying? There was a story about like the wolf dude, the humanoid wolf dude Blythe. he had a really engaging story and a really sad story in my opinion. When I didn't think much of it at first, but I was like reading into it more. I'm like, yo, he really was like locked in. Like him, EG, again, Ronnie had a really good story as well. Just hearing more about how the Shard Bearers kind of like were who they were. And again, I think an underrated aspect of how Elden Ring's story was played out so well, some of the stories they told you, and then from there, you could get advantages off of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least you get information based off of that stuff. Like, you'll say, it's been that long so I can spoil the game. But basically, at some point, Millennia and Radahn fought. They fought before, and they fought to a standstill. So because they fought to a standstill, you know what I'm saying? She has some rot or whatever stuff about her, and he has some rot stuff about him. And like, that's how the lands of Caelid came to be, because the rot was basically messing up the entire land. And then he put a stop to it because they fought to a standstill, and she went her own way. But that also told you that they had some immunity to rot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had some immunity built up to rot. So that information helps you in the fight. Like this stuff that helps you in the fight with those types of things. Like, it was dope to see, like, and just like how everybody related in terms of family, because some people were like, you know, offshoot. Some people were either direct bloodline descendants or, you know, step brothers or step whatever. And it kind of showed you the closer you got to the ring or the closer you got to the tree, that's how stronger the bloodline got, and that's how tough the competition was. I like some of the lore you had to read, but it was just a different delivery. You had to go find the story, and that informed you as you went along. It's like more layers are there, but they're not going to give you those layers. You got to go find those layers, and that's going to enrich what you play through. Because I know there's stuff that I definitely missed. Like, I missed half of the big-ass jar. That guy, I missed half of his story. But I still think it was pretty impactful, but I missed half of his story because I didn't know where to find it at first. But it's a difference in delivery. But with that being said, I still give it to Ragnarok, bro. I'm still giving it to Ragnarok, bro. I'm sorry. They have too much. They have too much to build on, and that's a challenge. The challenge is to build on that and make it as much of an impact. And they started out wonderfully well so far, but I think by the end of the story and by the end of what I play in Ragnarok, it's gonna be a much more impactful narrative than what Elden Ring provided. So I'm gonna have to go with that as well.
Yeah, it's tough because I don't think that, like, I really don't want people to think that I walked away from Elden Ring thinking there's no story to it. But there's just the delivery just also plays a huge part into this, because when we did a little bit more research into the Game Awards, we realized how many people are voting and how, like, the sheer volume of people from different countries and all these things. I'm pretty confident in saying that a majority of these people resonated with the God of War story being told the way of a normal, regular video game is, and like Elden Ring's method of, like, we want you to find the story. And I'm sure that if you blind everything up the way, like, you could learn the Elden Ring story along with the God of War, you'd be like, whoa, this is insane. But it's not that way. And like, that's where it comes into it. Like, how in the game of God of War, you wouldn't have God of War without the story. If there was no story in Elden Ring, you'd still have a fun ass time. Because there's a lot of people who are playing right now who don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just vibing.
That's how I miss shit. That's how I started. Until people pointed me into the way of, hey, listen, this might be important. Go check out this story. Go check out this person. Like, you don't know until you have to discover it. I feel like that can change the perception of how good a game is in other people's eyes, because they don't give them that benefit of the doubt that, okay, let me go find the story and then judge you on that, rather than I'm going to play through how I play through and whatever it is, how it was. So, okay, I get you. All right, moving on to best multiplayer category. We have a few games here. We have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
I think in order of people who I believe should win it, I believe it should be Multiverses as number 1, Splatoon as number 2. I'm going to put my personal bias aside and say Overwatch at number 3. Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is such a fucking good game. But it's like, when you think of multiplayer, I don't think of that. Like, it's a multiplayer game. It's a great co-op game. If you put a co-op, I would be like, this is the best game here. Easily. But when I think of multiplayer, it's probably going to be fucking Call of Duty after, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I can't express how good this fucking game is.
Underrated, one of the most underrated games of the year. There should be a category named underrated game of the year, but that's another conversation for another day. We'll get on that. But
I think it's Multiverses because of the way that it's impacted the space. Like, people are fucking, like, this game had people in shambles. Not only was it the biggest fighting game on release period ever, like, combined with all the other games put together, this will have the most players playing it. it is still going strong. Like, it is still releasing shit. They are still going crazy. It's an amazing game, and I think that is probably one of the best games out there. And I would put Splatoon second to it, only due to the fact that multiverse is kind of like put so many people onto an entire new genre. Like, it is, and it is the first of its kind. Not even the first, because obviously we have Smash Bros and things like that, but it is very much. I don't even play fighting games, but I'm on this shit.
Yeah,
like, that's how good it was.
For people to even reframe and recalibrate their conversation on are free-to-play fighters viable just because of Multiverse's release, that puts it in a whole different category for me. Top to bottom, making it a free game, been testing it through beta, consistent updates, consistent community outreach, consistent, player updates and game updates to stay, in tune and ear to the street with what the people want and what the people, need in terms of rank modes, customization, cosmetics, blah, blah, blah. From a development standpoint, from a gaming standpoint, this has been a top-notch game. This definitely had a shout for game of the year, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? In terms of overall impact of it, not just the game experience itself, this could have been a game experience of the year. I think it was definitely in that shout for me. I think it definitely takes this category, in my opinion. So shout out to Multiverses. Smash up job from Player First.
Yeah, amazing.
All right, speed through real quick. Best mobile game, we had Apex Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy. I give it to Marvel Snap. I seen hella people playing Marvel Snap. It made me want to play this game. I gotta clear some space and download it, but I think either that or Apex Mobile. I
played Marvel Snap. It's actually pretty solid. I think if it's not Marvel Snap, I'm gonna give it to Genshin, because I always think Genshin just deserves it because it's such a good game. Maybe if Apex wins anything, I wouldn't be super upset if it was a mobile category, because I heard really good things about that game. But I don't want to give it to it because I'm not a fan of mobile shooters. You know what I'm saying? And Diablo literally is a cash grab. So fuck that game. It shouldn't even be mentioned.
Yeah, I heard that joint was a shit show over there. I ain't gonna lie. Paying $100,000 to get your stuff going. That's crazy. Heavy hitting category right here, man. Best indie game. Wowzers. Hold on. We have Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous lineup. That's a hard line. You take it first. You go first. I'm out of this. I'm out of here.
I really can't choose. Like, I want all of them to win.
That's hard.
I haven't played Neon White, but now I'm gonna buy it.
People said Neon White cold because it was a fast-paced joint. It was a fast-paced joint, bruh. Oh yeah, nah. People said that joint was crazy too. People said it was super fire.
I don't even know. I genuinely don't even know. Fuck it. I'm gonna say. No. I hate this. I'm gonna go with Cult of the Land. It's so tough, bro. I'm gonna go with Cult of the Lambs because I think the next category I'm gonna be able to choose the game. But go ahead.
Okay. This is again a very, very difficult choice for me. It's hard. It's hard, bro. I gave impossible. It a lot. It's damn near impossible, bro. Oh my gosh, I am actually at a loss because again, all these games had such really good, I guess, reception this year. Stray came out of the blue. People were kind of joking at first, but then people really revered it and rated it as a solid game of the year contender. Sifu, one of my personal favorite games for this year. Again, like the bias, no bias, whatever you want to call it. It's one of my favorite games of this year. It was such a great, refreshing take on, that kind of fighting genre. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of old boy type shit. You just one versus all. Fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Hit me right in my bias parts, in my arteries and stuff. Tunic, I heard, was a fantastic game as well. I've seen hella people play it. I still need to play it before the end of this year. Once I get through Ragnarok, I'm gonna go spin back and get all these games as much as possible. Neon White, I heard some. Cult of the Lamb, I heard some. But I think by the hairiest chin on their chinny chin, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be Cult of the Lamb. I think it's from the moments that it provided, from the hype that it had, I think it delivered well to be a balanced game that people are still getting into to this day. Like their push, you think how good, like they got really big praise online, and they got stuck in, and their experience was there to match. And I feel like, I think it was definitely a gem. All these are definite gems, but I think it had enough to just inch itself a little bit forward as the best indie this year. I wouldn't be mad at Sifu. I would not be mad at Stray. I would not be mad at Tunic. I would not be mad at Neon White. If any of these won, I'm like, fair play. I would clap it up and say fair play. But my guess is on Cult of the Lamb this year.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. Moving a bit forward, where do we go? Best game direction: Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, Stray. Best game direction. I guess you can go. Yeah, you can go. I'll get the next two.
This is a very hot take.
Ooh, I know what you're gonna say too.
I think I might give it to Stray.
Yeah.
I love God of War, but when I tell you that Stray had you this game, the way the game plays is fucking insane. It's the most minimalist. It really makes you enjoy being a cat because it's all about exploration and interacting and just shit that you remember. It's an amazing game. I think I have to give it to Stray. I can't not. I think it would be Stray, God of War, then Elden Ring. And that's just because I just can't not love this fucking game. It's so good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, man. Me personally, I think if if God of War has more moments like the middle of Thor fight number 1, holy hell, I think they might have something insane going down. I feel like some of the set pieces, some of their sequences in terms of action, God of War, damn, it's something to marvel at, in my opinion. I need to see more of Stray. I think I'm definitely gonna play through Stray at some point before the year is over, so I can get my full conclusive opinion if I need to double back on some of my opinions. But for right now, from what I've seen, God of War Ragnarok, I think the direction of the game has been utterly fantastic. I think it might have enough. Elden Ring, I think, is definitely close in there, but I don't think it's as close as how the set pieces were actually made to be in Ragnarok. And Stray is kind of like my question mark inconclusive when I had to check out for myself. So I'll say God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Moving on to best fighting game. We have DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, All-Star Battle R, King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Sifu. In my opinion, it's Multiverses because of the impact the game had this year. Again, there's a case to be made for King of Fighters 15 and Sifu. King of Fighters 15 and DNF Duel and Sifu. JoJo's, I don't think probably was hot this year because of his experiences that I was witnessing and some of the problems it had, I guess technically. So that might have ruled it out a little bit. But I think it's Multiverses, man. I think what game got so many people involved in the fighting genre, literally challenged what the viability of a free-to-play fighting game could be, and really pushed the envelope on how general casuals can get involved in fighting games. That's hard to do in any year, let alone this year. And Multiverses did it in spades. A brand new studio did it in spades. You got to give it to Multiverses, even though, again, I don't even consider Sifu in this category, but that's a whole nother debate for another day. But Multiverses, I give it to him.
I'm definitely gonna go Multiverse. So this is how it would work out for me. If Multiverses wins, that's exactly how it should have went. If DNF Duel or King of Fighters wins, definitely didn't see that coming, but I guess maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah.
If JoJo wins, I don't even know.
Y'all on something. What's going on?
That shit makes no sense. But I guess if fucking Sifu wins, this shit is rigged, and I'm not watching this. I understand.
I love Sifu, but how is it a fighting game exactly?
I love Sifu, but if that were the case, then Batman Arkham Asylum should have won every fucking fighting game category when it came out, because
it's true.
Sifu's an action game. You're not fighting anybody. You're fighting the computer, and that's cool. But if you're gonna sit here and say that Sifu has the better fighting experience than fucking tournament level at Evo fucking competition, then you guys don't know what the fuck you guys are doing at the Game Awards.
Man. Go tell that to Negus real quick. Go save the explanation. I'm gonna save this clip and I'm gonna send it right to Negus because he thinks that Sifu's supposed to be in this category. In my opinion, I don't think it is.
He doesn't play fighting games. What is it? Yeah. What is? Why are you asking him that?
I know. I'm not asking him. I don't know. We were talking about. I know. I'm not asking him. But you were saying in the category the other day, and then he said that, and I was like, but it's not. But it's not though. I understand there's a case to be made for it because it's like combos and stuff, but there's not enough to be predicated that because there's no other person. There's not really another person. It's just you fighting against the world. It's just you and a story.
But, yeah, that's just wrong.
I digress. Sneakers, you're wrong. I was to say, anyways, best family game. We have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars: A Skywalker Saga, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. Off the vibes, I'm going Kirby. I don't care what nobody says, bro. I'm repping Kirby. I'm repping Kirby this time around. It's probably gonna be Splatoon 3, but I'm repping Kirby, bro. This is not a Splatoon 3. I heard it from the source of Splatoon. It's not a family game, bro. It's a game for tryhards and actual like sweat, bro. It's actual real life stuff going on. Tournament level. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a fantastic family game, and it was co-op, wasn't it?
It was. Yes, there is co-op to it.
Boom. I vote that. It probably won't win, but I vote that.
I'm gonna go with. Oh, hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to include everybody in the thing, so I'm trying to put this web browser in the little box that we have.
Oh, bless you. I probably should have
specifically designed for this.
Yeah, but I did
there we go.
Yeah, for the audio people who are listening just audio right now, this is the best I can give you. I just give you the names.
Yeah, for the audio people that are listening, I'm sorry that we can't beam the images directly to your head. Just watch the video.
You just gotta believe my words, man. Just trust my words. I promise you, these are the categories. I'm listing them off word for word. I promise.
Yeah. But so what we have for best family, I'm gonna give it a Switch Sports. So I was playing Switch Sports not too long ago. That shit is crazy guess. That shit is
I really good. That came out, bro. I heard people had problems with the online though. That's why I like
online is not the best. Online is not the best, but I will also say I never played Kirby online either. So like I can't argue with that online experience. I want to say it's Switch Sports. I don't want to say Lego Star Wars because that is an amazing game, but I don't know if it's necessarily like
they just add more of the same stuff.
Yeah, you can play with one other person. That's like it's not really the craziest. It's not a big family thing, you know. But
yeah,
I'm gonna definitely give it to. If it's not Wii Sports, it's Kirby.
Word. All right. Cool. I can agree with that. Moving on real quick. Best esports team. I have no clue. Dark Zero Sports, FaZe Clan, Gen G, LA Thieves, and Loud. I'm gonna give it to Gen G because they're probably gonna win it like they do every year. League of Legends categories pretty much always sweep in these types of things. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head. I'm about to say
Gen G. Why does Gen G sound familiar?
League of Legends.
I know. Why are they? But I don't even think they made it that far. I don't think Gen G. I mean, it'll probably be Gen G, but I don't really care. Whatever's not FaZe Clan is my pick.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's fair. That's very fair. Moving on to the best esports game. CSGO, Dota 2, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant. I got League of Legends probably because League of Legends wins damn near every year. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying?
That shit is a gas. I'm putting League down too. Next question.
This guy, bro, get out of here, man. Anyways, Evo 2022, best esports event, my fault. Best esports event, Evo 2022 League of Legends World Championship, PGL Major Antwerp 2022, 2022 Midseason Invitational, and Valorant Champions 2022. It's probably going to be League of Legends World Championship again, but I won't mind Evo, but this...
That shit was crazy. Yeah. I cannot lie to you. Like when I tell you, me and my friends, we were like having a Friendsgiving on the day of the game. Well, one thing I will say, they said that the shit started at 8. The first game wasn't until like 9:30. There are some fucking liars. But that shit went to a best of 5, like 2 games, like last game win it all. Amazing fucking Worlds thing. Next, if I'm not watching it anywhere, I'm streaming that shit. It is so fucking hype. But yeah, great showing, great event.
Fairs, man. All right, next category, best esports coach. We have Blade from CS:GO, BSKA from Team Loud Valorant. They have Doom Bros from Valorant as well. Robin from FaZe Clan, CS:GO, and Score from Gen G's team on League of Legends. So I'm probably gonna go Score from League of Legends because that's what it is. They probably gonna go one of these random dudes from Valorant. I don't think CS:GO's really gonna win anything, but yeah.
Sure. That's my answer to that. It's sure, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. Best esports athlete, Cxngviii from Team Gen G on League of Legends, Faker from T1 League of Legends, Kerrigan from FaZe Clan CS:GO, Simple from Natus Vincier CS:GO, and Ye from Cloud9 on Valorant. I'm gonna go Cxngviii.
I think that's a solid pick. The only reason I would say Faker, but Faker actually lost. He was in the they were in the finals. Their team was in the finals,
Okay.
but they lost. So
So was it
I can't.
Genji and T1 or Genji didn't make it?
Genji didn't even make it. DRX
Oh
made it,
dang.
which is why I'm surprised Genji. They must have had a run on in worlds that I missed because I missed like a majority of it, but I watched the finals.
Word.
Like I watched invitationals, missed every important thing, and then watched the finals. I'm a great big fan of League of Legends esports.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Best debut indie. We have Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. I can take the lead on this one because I didn't do the last indie category. I think it's Stray. I think people didn't expect it to have this level of praise. I feel like it's the obvious choice in this category. Tunic would definitely be up there. Neon White would definitely be up there, but I feel like Stray just became a juggernaut. Basically, it was a meme, but then it was like, yo, this got serious. It's not funny anymore. Like, we're a serious contender out here this year. So I think I'd have to give it to Stray, man. And Annapurna's cooking with crack every time out.
Yeah, I'm also gonna have to agree with you. It's Stray followed by Tunic, just because. And I think the only reason Stray was even this big is because it was pushed by Sony. But I think Stray was an amazing game. The marketing behind it is really what pushed it to be the level that it is. Tunic is an amazing, beautiful, beautiful, stunning game, and I think that it deserves its flowers. But if if I had to go off of like general perception, I would have to say Stray. But Tunic, phenomenal. If either of those two games win, I'm happy.
Yeah, nah, 100%. I agree. Moving on to best community support, we have Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. Interesting. Kind of the usual suspects in some of these categories. Honestly, it's a toss-up between No Man's Sky because I think No Man's Sky won last year, and Fortnite. Honestly, Final Fantasy 14 always has a shout. Honestly, it does. I would go Fortnite this year personally, just because of how much groundbreaking stuff that they had, and they've been boosting it to the moon. Like, again, the Dragon Ball collab, how wild Fortnite went, and the Naruto collab, how crazy and batshit insane the timeline went when those things went up. My opinion, I feel like Fortnite might have it just based off of the reception that they've had to some of the community events and stuff that, Epic's put on. No Man's Sky would be second for me because No Man's Sky continues to innovate, and they are possibly the greatest redemption story in gaming history. But, I think Fortnite took it this year.
I would have to agree with you. I think Fortnite 1000% is in the lead here. Maybe Final Fantasy, just because I can't really remember exactly what No Man's Skies has done recently. I know they did some good work in the beginning of the year. I don't know if they added anything recently, but I feel like they are kind of slowing down in development of that game. But I mean, like slowing down after like fucking 6-7 years.
It's crazy.
To me,
wild, like crazy game changing updates year after year after year. You gotta put your hands up at some point.
Apex, I don't even know if I think motherfuckers have just been on vacation for like the past 6 months. And Destiny 2, yeah, that would be like giving money to the person who mugs me down the street. Like, I don't know, like that's like, yeah, congratulations to that guy. He takes my money. No, I'm pretty solid off of those two. If either of those two win, crazy.
Cool. Yeah, I hear it. Moving on to the next category, we have best audio design. Now moving down to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West. Based off the audio design so far.
I feel like it'll be Gran Turismo off some wild shit. I haven't never played a Gran Turismo.
It could be Gran Turismo off some wild stuff. I ain't gonna lie, but I think Elden Ring might have the edge in terms of audio between the rest of the games here, in my opinion.
Elden Ring does have good audio. It does have good audio design.
I really enjoyed that. Again, the awareness of attacks and stuff like that, and just some of the ambiance, bro. It's like, damn, this is some real, like, again, it added to the whole the ethos of the environment of the map where you were at. Definitely, and especially again within the characters and stuff that you were fighting against, like some of the antagonists. Like, bro, it's crazy. Whenever lightning struck, I was shook. I ain't gonna lie to you, son. Whenever lightning struck, I was shook. It was just grass half the time. I was like, nah, bro, we out of here. We gone. Yeah, I think Elden Ring might take it, but Gran Turismo, it might be one that like, oh shit, they won. I guess cool.
Like if it won, I wouldn't be surprised because I can see them putting a lot of fucking effort and detail into the sounds of the cars. But if they didn't, I'm not gonna fucking fight for them. It's a weird space that I'm in with that game. It's like I don't really care, but I could see them winning that because I feel like that's their whole shit.
Yeah, I hear it. All right, moving to best art direction. We have Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
I'm gonna give it to Elden Ring or Scorn. The reason I say that is because I feel like Scorn looks good, but I haven't played it. I'm leaning more towards Elden Ring, even though Stray Head is beautiful.
Yeah,
And I love the decisions that they made in that game. I want to say it's Elden Ring because some of those environments are just stunning.
bro. I'm saying Elden Ring. I'm saying Elden Ring, bro. I'm sorry. Like what was it called? Was it West Altus? The entire part before you get to the capital. That entire area is ridiculous. And when you're getting high up and like everything in Necron, like the underworld city Necron is beautiful. Like, nah, son. There's even in the bosses, they look so ridiculously good. Every single boss that I've fought, especially the major line, like the shard bearers and stuff, they look insane. From Morgoth all the way up, they look ridiculous, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They look scary, beastly, like, you know what I'm saying? It's insane, bro. It's insane. Like the art direction in Elden Ring was nothing less than exceptional. I think their art direction and how everything looked trumps everything else that came out this year. Honestly, in my opinion, just it added so much depth to what we were going on. When I was facing Millennia, son, when she came out looking like a Valkyrie, she just put the arm, nigga, she locked in. I was like, yeah, nah, she's different. She's different. The whole thing.
Yeah.
She had the grit, like the whole, like the feet plates and stuff, the boots with the webbed feet in them. She had one for each individual toe, son. You know how hard that is to do in medieval times?
Yeah.
She immediately goated. I'm sorry. The best art direction for me is Elden Ring.
I feel that. I can respect that.
Yeah, man. Moving to best adaptation. I believe this is a recently new category, but into, TV and film stuff. We have Arcane from League of Legends, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted the movie. In my opinion, this is only two movies that are even in this race, and I think one is clear, one that's being critically acclaimed right now. But I still have to watch both of these. But again, off of the rip, I already know in my chest it's gonna be Arcane. Arcane's gonna win this category. What did you think? What do you think I was saying?
You said movies. That's why I was confused.
My fault. Shows. My bad. Shows. I apologize. That's a clear error on my end.
What the fuck is he about to say? He's about to say fucking. What the fuck is he gonna say?
Was it Uncharted? No. I don't want to see Spider-Man do some damn jumps with no powers. There, come on, guys. I'm not that shameless. Damn, what do you think of me, WenEazy? Oh my gosh. But no. It's only between Arcane and Cyberpunk. It's literally only between Arcane and Cyberpunk. From the critical reception I've seen them have, and generally, I think it's between those two, but I think it's too much depth in Arcane. From beginning of the year, from when it dropped, I had people telling me, watch Arcane. And I'm seeing it get nominated for Academy Awards and stuff like that. I still gotta watch that hoe. And before the 8th, I should watch it.
Oh my God.
I know, I get it. Listen. Don't worry. It's on the list. I'm gonna actually try and watch it for the end of this year. It's only 9 episodes too, so I'm bugging. I'm actually tweaking. It's my fault. It is my fault. I take responsibility.
It's not mine.
Well, yeah, they gotta. But it's gotta be Arcane though. It's gotta be Arcane.
Yeah, I'm putting it on Arcane, and the reason I'm doing this, not to take anything away, I'm fully agree with what you said. I love, but also Sleeper, Cuphead Show, really fucking funny.
Really?
The reason I would say Arcane, so the only 3 that I would even consider, I haven't watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I really have no interest in watching it. I will eventually. But the reason I say Arcane is above, it would be Arcane, Cyberpunk, and Cuphead. Maybe Cuphead over Cyberpunk. I haven't seen Cyberpunk yet, so I don't want to put that out there. The reason I would say is because Cuphead and Arcane both have to do with the actual characters from the actual games. Like, these are people that are like, that is Jinx's storyline. That is her character in this franchise. Like, that is lore. Like, that is canon. That is the best way. It's like, remember how we were just talking about Elden Ring's narrative direction? It chose to do it in a very different way. Like, if you had an Elden Ring show, it would be completely like the conversation would be completely flipped, because it's like, now I have an easy way of understanding this shit. The Arcane show takes the lore of the game and just shows it to you. Like Edge Runners, if I'm not mistaken, is a show based on the world of Cyberpunk.
I think there are some
be wrong about that.
I think it is connected to the actual game though, because there are characters that do show up, and it is like in the same congruent timeline. So I think some of it does match up, but not.
Yeah,
everything.
I think that you're correct, but like for the main character to be like, the main characters are like, I want to say in this show, so many pivotal characters are all playable, and like there are some characters that are not playable that like I'm surprised aren't in the game. Like I was looking up, oh, is this person a character? Like no, that's just like random. Like this was just done so well. Like I would assume that they already had like backstories and bios and all this shit for them. This show is insanely good to the point where like I don't even like singing its praises like this, but I cannot, like I can't help myself. This shit is that good. It is a really good show.
Word. I'm in agreement with you there. I definitely gotta watch it though. I gotta get off my ass on that. Anyways, moving to some of the bigger fish to fry, son. Oh my gosh. Best action adventure: Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. It's Ragnarok. Let's stop playing here. I'm not gonna lie to you, son. I'm not finished with you yet. That's all I gotta say. Ragnarok, and hold on, Cracknarok. Anyways, your thoughts?
I would have to say it's Ragnarok for me. I have to play Horizon, man. I gotta beat that game. But I would say it's Ragnarok because it's just that fun. I love Tunic. It's an amazing, like Tunic and Stray are so fucking good. I don't know if they necessarily like Stray is a great adventure game. Tunic is an amazing adventure game, but like God of War does both, and that's the main reason why I'm like I have to say God of War. The only thing that I could see given competition are like Plague Tale and Requiem, but I haven't played. I mean, that's literally the same game, Plague Tale and Horizon. The reason I can't give it to either is I haven't necessarily played either of them. But God damn it, I want to play God of War right now. I want to stop. I want to stop the podcast.
After this podcast, I'm getting on Ragnarok. I don't even think I might put it out. I don't think I'm gonna put the pod out tonight, bro. I'm going against my natural habit of doing it right after the pod. I might actually eat and get back on it. But anyways, moving on to best action game: Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Now, we're in a category where I think it's acceptable. I personally think Sifu might edge it. I personally want Sifu to win. I personally want Sifu to edge this category. The way it came out, the reception it got, such a breath of fresh air for a franchise that delves into this action, beat 'em up, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of lane. I can't wait for I hope that they expand after they've done this whole DLC run of free updates for the next calendar year. I hope that there's a Sifu 2, some DLC or something like that. I can't wait to jump back into this game. I cannot wait. Like, this is fantastically done. Slow clap. They deserve a lot of plots for how the game played out in terms of the action sequences, the gameplay loop itself. I think there are some close ones here. You know what I'm saying? Bayonetta 3, of course, is going to get very close to them. I can understand if it definitely does get the award over Sifu. Neon White, I can definitely understand it as well. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think it was fun, but doesn't stack up all the way in terms of the action sequences and whatnot. I'll even give Call of Duty some plaudits, man. People say it's improved this year. I can't wait to try it for myself, but people say it's actually the funnest has been a little bit. So give us a fair due, but I think it's Sifu, man.
I think it's Sifu. The reason I think it's Sifu is because it being a new IP and the way it's exploded, it definitely puts it in the front running. I don't think it's Call of Duty. I'm not going to expand on that. I haven't played Neon. I'm not too familiar with the game. It looks really good, but I like, the thing is, like, when I look at these games that I didn't really know too much of, and again, Sifu was also pushed by Sony, so maybe that's has a little bit to do with it. But Sifu like exploded out of the gate. Bayonetta 3 has some mixed receptions. Some people are saying it's an amazing game, but like not many. I don't really hear. The game came out not too long ago. I don't hear anybody talking about it anymore. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, amazing game, but I feel the same way. Where it's like it's very simple and that kind of shoots it in the foot when it comes in terms of like something like Sifu, that it feels like ever expanding. Like people were saying, like their minds feel like they were opening their brains up to something they never seen before, like doing combos and shit like that. Whereas like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a great time. So I'm gonna go with Sifu as well.
Yeah, I hear it. And on to the last category, baby. Game of the year, the granddaddy of them all, the biggest prize in gaming for the calendar year. We have A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Oh my gosh. Now, this is what the white folks call a pickle. This is what they call a pickle, huh? This joint right here is really, really difficult to me. There are some very, very consistent, heavy hitting, impactful games from this year. I think I'm definitely going to play a Plague Tale Requiem. Just again, even in post before the calendar year's up, I'm going to play a Plague Tale Requiem because I want to know where it is. I'm pretty sure it was not a long game either. It was like 17 hours. So I definitely want to again get locked in and see where the narrative and the gameplay elements of it really come to life. Horizon Forbidden West, again, a solid game from this year. Kind of got overshadowed by another person in this category, but again, still a solid game that came out. Stray was something that came out all hot off the blocks. Came out with some really good reception, and I think really punched above its perceived weight for the year. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Hella people just mad this game even got mentioned in the category, but again, I think it's a Xenoblade game, so I think the plot and again the gameplay elements are always going to garner it a seat at the top games of the year whenever it drops. So respect to them, but for me, it's only between two people. We know the obvious conversation. We don't gotta beat around the bush. It's either Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok, bro. But let me know how you break it down generally, and we can get into the nitty gritty.
Stray, I believe, earned its spot on this list. It is definitely one of those like standout contenders. And the fact that it's on this list, I feel like kind of foreshadows it might win Game of the Year for indies. I mean, not Game of the Year, in general, but I think it might win Indie Game of the Year.
Indie.
Xenoblade Chronicles, like everybody loves to hate on this franchise. I mean, like this and Fire Emblem, they love to hate on it, but these are franchises that there's a reason there's a third Chronicles. There's a reason there's so many Fire Emblem games. Is because
and they be all high scoring.
They're good. They're really fucking good. It's just people don't want to branch outside of like their bubble. So I think Xenoblade and Stray, amazing games. Plague Tale and Horizon. Horizon, I just feel like, man, I don't think Horizon's gonna win because Horizon didn't even win in the quarter that it was in. And that's a fucked up thing to say, but like that's kind of what happened, is that Horizon came out and people didn't even talk about the game because of Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring the Elden Ring impact was felt for a long ass time. I think it's insanely good. Plague Tale, I haven't played it yet. I gotta play it, but I haven't played it yet, so I can't really speak too much on it. From what I saw of it coming out, it looked really, really good, but I haven't touched it. God of War has made me feel things for a game I haven't felt in years. Like I loved playing Elden Ring. It was a good ass gaming experience. But God of War felt like a fucking experience. Like when I was playing Elden Ring, I'm like, damn, oh fuck yeah, I beat this boss. When I play God of War, I'm like, I gotta save my fucking son. Like that's how I feel when I play God of War. It's tough. It's tough. I will go on record saying I haven't even beat God of War, but I'm gonna give it a God of War, bro, because just like off of the entrance alone, it sets it up for like such an epic tale. If it doesn't win and Elden Ring wins, I completely understand it. I think Elden Ring to me is probably one of the best games we've had in a long ass time. One of the best games in general. I feel like God of War kind of feels more than just a game to me, because the gameplay is solid. The world is super fucking beautiful. The adventure is there. Like there's so many moving parts of this game that just work. But on top of that, the narrative that is given to us, it feels like playing a movie. And like that's the best way. It feels like playing a video game that turns into a movie at times. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like two things in one.
Yeah. Oh,
it's tough.
I don't know. I don't know. Listen, let me preface it with this. On this podcast, when we both finish the game, we're going to fully break down Ragnarok. I think this might be, hopefully this will be the first game that we can review together on the podcast. If we can break it down, do its own separate thing. I think that's actually fitting that it'll be the first game we fully review as a podcast and break that down once we're done. I think that should be something that's in due time and in due course. We should also, after the Game Awards has been decided, we should also go back and revisit who we think out of that category, which I think most likely it'll be Elden Ring or God of War. Was it the right decision to pick one over the other? I think we should do that after the Game Awards. I think that should be a big topic of conversation afterwards, so we can break it down, really talk about the pros and cons of either or, and make a determination whether we thought that was the right decision based on the voting. Now, there's a lot of ways to break this down. 100%. There's a lot of ways to break this down. I feel like in terms of God of War Ragnarok, game started out fantastically. Game is starting out how I dreamt it would. Honestly, it's fantastic. I can't not see myself playing it all the time right now. It's super engaging, super emotional, great builds. Ragnarok has the most burden to overcome because it started off with such a great return remake in 2018. The burden of expectation is greater on this game rather than Elden Ring because of the weight of notoriety and being known as a great comeback game. They reinvented themselves. They're a brand new style. What are you gonna do? What are you prepared to do? Like Michael Irvin, whatever. What are you prepared to do to differentiate yourself and show that you've taken a step forward? Not only just, in some little tidbits here or there, but in every single category: the story, the music, the gameplay loops. What do you add? What, you know what I'm saying? What's new? What's different? What's fresh? What's discernible from the first game? They have the biggest burden to bear. And whether they can overcome that, I think determines, or at least is a big factor in determining Game of the Year. Another one is also the audience that's voting, whether they're more prone to the narrative or they're more prone to the impact of the game. We were talking about this. I was like, I think it was on stream talking about it. I was like, listen, what will be stronger? What will be a stronger factor? The level of efficiency and impact in differentiating themselves as a story, narrative, and a gameplay loop in Ragnarok, or the impact that Elden Ring set itself up for this entire calendar year since it dropped. It's so tough. And generally, when we look at these games like this, when you see a game that has such a good gameplay base, a good story and everything like that, the committee or people that vote on this, they tend to give a little bit more credence to the narrative. So I have to finish the game to give any rating on whether I think one is better than the other in terms of my personal experience. But for the voting things, but for the game of the year award, by the hairs on my chinny chin, by the thinnest of margins, I think. Damn, it's so difficult, man. It's so difficult. The suspense is killing me. It's killing me, bro. I'm supposed to be the one saying the shit. Damn. You know what? By a thinnest margin, I feel like Elden Ring might win Game of the Year. I'm gonna go on record and say that. It's fine. I'll say it. I feel like, you say it? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's like, if Last of Us 2 didn't beat out Ghost of Tsushima,
and that's my example.
I would have said it was Elden Ring as well.
That's the example. That's what I was thinking of when I was saying this committee is so narrative focused that I find it very difficult to edge, you know what I'm saying, against it. I'm saying Elden Ring out of hope that the impact of the game really set itself apart, but damn. Now you make me second guess myself heavy. There's no
right or wrong answer.
There's no right or wrong. There's 100%. There's no right or wrong. But it's like, what are they gonna do? It's onto the bias of the people voting. And you know what? Damn,
bro, just stick with Elden Ring. You're fine. You don't have to I know what you're thinking, but the thing is, like, you see, this is the issue I have with the actual Game of the Year problem is that, like, that
it's based on so many different factors. It's very subjective.
Like, saying best action or best adventure, like, you can look into both of these things. Like, what has the most fun action game? Like, you could sit there and say, I like Sifu because it's more technical and the punishments and shit like that. Or you could be like, I like Bayonetta because it lacks that fucking punishment and that it lacks that fucking brick wall of sometimes motherfuckers just block forever and you can't do anything except for one specific move you got to unlock.
It's a consistent moving goalpost of expectation with every voter.
There's shit that you can talk about when best action. Game of the Year is literally a subjective thing. Like, it is literally, what game did you like the most this year? That's the actual definition of Game of the Year. So somebody could say God of War and Elden Ring, and they would both be right in their own ways. And that's what sucks about Game of the Year, but we give a fuck about it. So one game is going to look like dog shit compared to the others on the Twitter arguments if Twitter's still around.
Absolutely. True.
This is an award.
You know what? For the sake of the argument and just for the full bet and being contrarian, I'm gonna say Elden Ring. Honestly, I'll say Elden Ring because I feel like also if it was just me for the entire build up to the Elden Ring stuff, the Game Awards was on its meat. They was ready to drop it like that, so they was giving it love like it was Kojima. They was giving it Kojima level love, so that could play a factor as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll say Elden Ring though. Just to level debate and be 1-1. I'll say Elden Ring, and you say God of War Ragnarok. That's cool. Either way, I'm gonna slander the other side who lost like it's a joke. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a Twitter troll at this Game Award season is Twitter troll season. I ain't gonna lie. This might be the last one. So whoever loses is y'all fault. And y'all were terrible.
Hey, I better hope Elden Ring doesn't lose because you know exactly what I'm gonna blame it on. You know exactly what I'm gonna blame it on.
Woo!
Y'all better hope that you don't lose.
If Elden Ring loses, son, it's gonna be hell on earth. It's gonna be hell on. Oh y'all
y'all gonna hear my mouth, and you can come into my stream and try to roast me for the God of War pick. I promise you, you know what I'm gonna say about your game too. Y'all already know how I feel about the From Software games.
I'm not even gonna front on you. I'm not even gonna front on you. For the pure sake of banter, I hope God of War wins. For the pure sake of banter, I hope it wins. Because just be able to talk the smack to so many people that says automatic game of the year, that warms me inside. That gives me Christmas cheer. To be able to rain down hellfire on everybody that said it's a one-horse race and God of War is not even the conversation. Oh my goodness, that will be fantastic. That will be great. Great. Just perfect. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm gonna keep an eye on y'all. I'm gonna keep December 8th, man. We gonna see what's up. But yeah, aside from that, that's all the stuff we had on the show notes. Anything else that we might have missed?
No. Is there any big announcement that you think is coming out of Game Awards?
Yeah. I forgot about that. We're gonna get something on Spider-Man 2. We're gonna get something about Spider-Man 2. We 100% will get something. I think we'll 80% get something on Spider-Man 2. 80% get something on Spider-Man 2. Some type of slightly extended gameplay. What else will come through? Let me see. A random ass metal performance. About 20 guys in blazers and blazers and jean combos. I think over 20 this time. We're gonna spice it up. I think we're gonna go over 20. Last year was under, but I think we're gonna go over. Besides that, what other game things could come out this year? None that I know of that could be crazy. So maybe a Silent Hill, maybe another Silent Hill look since Silent Hill just came back through. Maybe we'll get another extended look at Silent Hill 2 remake. That's probably all I got on top of my head. What about you?
I only got one. Hideo Kojima.
I know you're gonna say
it. I swear to God, please. Just I'm not even gonna be. I was being aggressive. I'm sorry, sir. Please don't take this as any kind of aggression. I apologize. I'm just a humble fan. I'd appreciate it if this time around you didn't just tell us that you were working on video games, Mr. Kojima. I know that is your job. You don't gotta tell me. I know. I'm assuming that that's what you're doing. Of course you're working on video games. You're the head of a video game development company. But if you could drop a little bit of Death Stranding 2 on us, just a smidge, just a little bit, I'd greatly appreciate it, Mr. Kojima. Thank you for your time. I hope that you're having fun meeting the director of whatever random movie you saw yesterday on a Zoom call. Tell Jordan Peele I said hi, and I'm waiting for the trailer.
When it's not Death Stranding 2, it's like that one overdose joint that he working on with Elle Fanning or something. You gonna be like, what the fuck? I mean, you gonna be happy because of something, but you gonna be like, what the fuck?
He gonna announce that he directed a music video, and I'm gonna be like, I don't care, bro.
him and Major Lazer, son, like it's going crazy. Like they go what?
Come on, Mr. Kojima.
All right. That's all we got on the show today, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Any closing notes before we get up out of here, WenEazy?
Not that I can think of. Oh wait, drink your water and stay safe.
I already know what time it is, man. I was about to get my water for a quick drink. I thought he was gonna go longer than that. But anyways, yeah, definitely drink your water. Go see Black Panther 2 in theaters. Go support that. A black man just went back to back on 300 million plus movies at the gross box office. So make sure you go support that stuff. Make sure you tap in with no cooldown, man. Twitter might not be here much longer. Pokemon as well. Go Pokemon as well. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit up that Ragnarok if you haven't. You know what I'm saying? Watch it if you don't got no PS5. Get your money up. Don't blow up your PS4 over that. Don't be like Charles. I love you, Charles, though. But make sure y'all go check that out. Make sure you tap in with us, man. We got a lot of cool stuff coming. I think if we might have a little special something in the works for award season, potentially, maybe, but make sure you check our Twitter to find out any fine details on that, man. At No Cooldown Pod on Twitter. Make sure you rate us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That's just search up No Cooldown and we'll be right there. We should be the first one up. Make sure you check us out on all of our other socials as well. Make sure you check out Wotaku channel for all the video versions and dope content from Wen and Panda. That's WOTAKU channel. Again, that's WOTAKU channel. Check out all my stuff at ThatManTripp. If you want to get tapped in with all the gaming stuff. New YouTube content is coming soon. I promise you, new YouTube content. It's been like 2.5 months. I know, but trust me, the change will be worth it. We're going to get real heavy talk on there. We about to show the levels. It's about to be crazy. Make sure you check out All for Growth as well. Content will be coming to those channels as well, especially YouTube in the next couple of weeks. You guys don't want to miss all the collab content coming from all the Growth members in that lane. So make sure you check that as well. Without further ado, it's been episode 45. We staying alive, man. Don't give them no job. You know what I'm saying? Be kind and just strive for greatness. The rhyme kind of fucked up there, but whatever. We're out of here, man. Well, we're gone, bro. No Cooldowns out of here, man. Peace.